recording.
Hello. So when we last left off, we came across the Sharma, old goblin woman we had found ourselves fighting along with her children a number of days ago. That was the thing that happened. Anyway, so we had our discussions with her. We got ourselves one of the manticore heads. Apparently, it is not the only manticore, so we continued on our way, settled in for a night of camp, and in doing so, we came across a number of other manticores. So that's a wonderful thing that we are going to have to come across. Wonderful. So we had our watches, a few chats were had. I learned a bit about Kessex, that was nice. We continued on the next morning and eventually came across where the other manticore is. And we are now at the base of a hill of sorts, deciding what it is we are going to do in order to approach fighting this creature. But yeah, that's what happened.
He's doing his best.
You're done talking to yourself, Julius.
Oh, I did not realize people were listening.
Kinda hard not to, but
You've been pacing about for a while now.
What do you mean, Grotus? You talk to yourself all the time.
As you all sit at the bottom of the stacked hills, still in view, the manticore's nest and home, each of you huddles down, ensuring not to be seen by the large tiger-like beast as he guards his domain. The other manticore not yet spotted, presumed to be resting in the nest above. What do you all wish to do?
back away slowly and find a rabbit.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, recap for I think Nikki, you weren't here for the planning. Basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna find a rabbit, catch it, break its legs so it limps close by us. And then when the manticore comes over to eat it, that's when we strike.
Less break its leg, more gimp it so it hops slowly.
So that's what all the planning led up to.
Pretty much, yeah. And then when it comes down and close within range, when it goes eats the rabbit, we jump on it, beat the fuck out of it, hopefully damage it enough before the next one wakes up.
Or at least just enough, just away from the nest and far enough apart to where it will have to take a turn to move to us.
So, attempting to retreat from the camp, of course, the DC will be a bit lower. You will all need to make a stealth check, because now moving within its line of sight is different than standing still.
Yay. This could go wrong here now, guys.
Wait,
Good.
I really hope our half an hour planning goes to waste right now.
Aren't we stepping back, though? I thought we...
Yeah, but you're moving. We're still
within range of it, yeah.
Yeah, you can't leave its line of sight.
So
right?
the DC is harder, like it'll have like a disadvantage perception check or something, but we still got a stealth.
Also, since I wasn't there for planning, I would say that through the whole time, Julius has a face like, I don't know if this is a good idea.
So I'm gonna just go ahead and Heath, we need to use our inspirations.
Ooh, wow.
Oh dear.
I mean, I got a pretty good one.
Heath, please, we need to use our inspirations.
19, 18, 27,
Do not.
37, 40, 53, 8.
I mean, I'm disadvantaged regardless, man. I would just be wasting an inspiration to stealth with Grotus.
As you all make your way back from the camp, the large manticore does not seem to notice you. He got a 10 plus 3. So
wow.
Beat them out.
Woo!
Well, technically, Nikki should have been an 11. I don't think it mattered enough. I did it with a regular roll instead of a flat. Oh, also Moonstone. Oh no, Moonstone did have his higher one. Never mind.
Julius is just that good.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you
Sure.
say. So, retreating
Xavier
from
was
it, you
welcome back.
eventually get to a point where you break line of sight with the manticore and its nest. You now wish to go look for a rabbit.
The fact that he laughed made me feel like this is not a good idea.
No, I
No.
do find it slightly funny.
Look, the only reason we thought rabbit is because we already know it will kill a rabbit, go down and eat it. We saw it happen.
My plan was to use Xavier, but
So was mine.
If you don't mind me asking, why is it that we're looking for an actual rabbit and not just acting out one, like shooting an arrow into a bush or something?
Well, there's 3 reasons for that, really. 1, if it's an arrow, it might notice it's an arrow and come after the shooter. 2, we're not sure if it hunts strictly by nose or by sight, or if if it hunts by scent as well. So if it doesn't smell a rabbit, it might not realize something's up.
Well, if it sees an already injured rabbit, wouldn't that raise its hackles?
It
Not
depends how we
entirely.
image it. If it looks like just another animal bit it and it got away, then it'll look normal.
Yeah, and not to mention, I mean, you did say that these beasts are intelligent, so as far as that is, then it might recognize that there is an arrow. And otherwise, when it comes to the rabbit, yeah, it's intelligent or not, I think it's generally kind of what do you call it? It's generally kind of nature's rule to not pick on the dead, but the injured is fair game. I guess unless you're a vulture, but that's besides the point.
Vultures are fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
or coyote,
Also,
or
vegetarian.
wolves also just pick at dead carcasses.
Well,
It's more of a
for
suggestion than a
sure.
rule.
if we're sure this is what we want to do,
Well, I mean, it's either us or the rabbit.
You know, I'd like to point out though, Chris, if there was a druid in the party, they could just turn into a rabbit and would have the same thing.
Yes, that would be a much better idea. Definitely. 100%
Rabbit,
better idea.
rabbit gets shot, transforms into 8-foot Goliath. Surprise!
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
So I rolled a 20 there, Chris, for the
Yep.
survival. So
If no one stops you, you look. Takes maybe about half an hour, but eventually you can
Oh,
find
can I-
like
Could I help him? Sorry, I
No,
should have said that
you already
earlier.
called
no,
you were
I
helping.
I recalled that you were helping. That's why the advantage was there.
Oh, okay. Good.
As you kind of look around, you do eventually spot one kind of mildly away, like it seems to be near its den still. Eating around. You are far enough that it's a small critter. It hasn't noticed you yet, or if it has, it hasn't reacted to you yet. How do you wish to catch it without killing it?
So we're gonna look
Grotus.
over at our. Yeah, sorry, you're gonna nudge Grotus.
Yeah, he's just. Ain't you supposed to do that one glowy blue thing?
You think that I might be able to get it at ease? I suppose. Anybody got like a net or something on them?
Let me look at my bag of tricks.
Is Chris, completely shoot me down if you think, but like, I do not have it in my inventory. But as a fisherman, could I please have a net?
I'm gonna say no. Not
Okay.
a situation where you aren't fishing
So
or anywhere
I'm
near
obviously
an
still
ocean.
got my cooking supplies. Would Grotus still have like a carrot or some sort of other vegetable a rabbit would
Sure,
like?
you could have a root vegetable.
Sure.
And Gullo will pipe up. I have my cloak. Will that do?
Here, maybe.
I
But
mean,
I'll try to
I
get
go
it
up-
close to me. If
I go
it
up this
fails,
as I hold up the toolbox of holding.
great. Can you throw it over top of the rabbit?
I opened the toolbox so it expands. So yeah,
No, that's okay.
Can things survive in there?
you got about 10 minutes of air, and then we just pull it out every once in a while, and then it should be fine.
Anyways,
Right.
besides the point, let's see what we can do. Xavier,
Yes,
Gallows
sir.
actually. Gallo, Xavier. Gallo, do you think you'd be able to sneak around the other side of it so if it bolts from me, it'll bolt towards you and you can try to snatch it?
What is a stab block for a rabbit?
1 HP.
I know that. 100% it does. It's a critter. I'm just wondering about other stuff.
Probably.
And, to answer his question, Gala would nod and look for the nearest tree, I guess, or foliage that you
There's
can hide
your
around.
force.
All right, cool. Everywhere.
So just stealth around so you don't raise suspicion. I'll see if I can get it to come to me. Otherwise, you'll have to try to chase it down.
Are you keeping the cloak or not?
Probably, if I can get my hands on it, I probably don't need a cloak.
All right, then I'll use it. Just keep watch.
May I also be kind of on standby, ready to feline agility over towards it to trap it in my box?
Well, so if you're not attempting to stealth towards it, then it would be a turn to initiative to see who would move first. Because essentially a combat would start as soon as the rabbit realizes it's in danger.
Yeah, I was telling Gallo to go over there stealthily because he's our best stealther.
Gallo can, then Gallo can get probably within 10, 15 feet of it. I like to say 10 feet of it on the ground without triggering combat.
Okay, dokie. Then he will do that because he's really just on standby. So,
Sure.
I guess if combat was to happen, I guess his first thing would probably just to hold.
We'll just give the rabbit a +2 to perception because of its nice hearing.
I would kind of like to be around Gallo, maybe a little further back. Ready to
Well, then, like I said, you got to make stealth checks.
Yeah, it's not worth it, man. It's really not worth it. One person is more likely to succeed than two. It's a rabbit.
Alright.
If it bolts, then we lose it. So too much. I'd advise against it. It's not hard to grapple this thing.
So, for the sake of this, then, Gallo, will you make a stealth check against a DC of 9? 15. You kind of embody how you think a hunter would move through the woods, ensuring not to rustle more than is needed. You probably get within about 10 feet of the rabbit. If it tried to move, you could probably attempt to grapple it. You managed to make it, so within a 15 stealth roll.
All right. And while he was heading over, he had already prepared his cloak. He had unpinned it and just has it to the ready as a makeshift net, sort of ready to sack said rabbit if need be.
Okay. Then well,
And I should mention, just for your sake, Zaku, and really all of ours, since it might potentially spring into combat, I think you could just prepare an action to capture it if it bolts it.
Okay.
That's essentially what I'm having them do.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I'd mentioned that earlier. Is if we do go into, then.
Yeah. Grotus will approach it slowly with the fruit vegetable, and using the blue glow around his body that helps calm animals, he will try to animal handling the rabbit towards him.
Is this one of your ruins?
This is my rune. It lets me have animal handling at advantage always.
Really?
Yeah.
Which of those ruins is that?
It is the ice rune, actually.
Uvar?
That seems really weird.
This
sure.
frost rune gives... I can link it for you if you'd like.
I'll take your word on it. I'm just kind of...
That's why I took animal handling, is because, wow, I get animal handling at advantage all the time. I'm going to be an animal handler for the shits and giggles of the meme. For whatever reason, animals like me, people hate me, because I also get intimidation checks at advantage. I leaned into it. Just one of the weird things. Yeah, it's one of the weird things about the rune, but I love it.
Alright, then you can attempt to make an animal handling check at advantage. bit difficult because it is a wild animal.
17.
17.
Pretty good.
Nice.
It's not a quick process, but there is this. The creature doesn't seem to have as much fear of you as it should. And you kind of watch as slowly but surely it does start to get a bit closer. It would eventually get within your arm's reach. It is trying to get closer and closer to the food.
Okay. Once it's close enough to me, I will make my athletics grapple check to grab the rabbit.
Sure thing. So make an athletics check. We'll give the rabbit a +1 to its dex to attempt to escape.
20.
Nice.
20, unlikely. 7.
You'd have to roll that 20 to beat it.
Well, I could have matched it, and then nothing would have changed.
That's true. So
But yeah, for the sake of it, it's a rabbit. I'm not going to have you make like concurrent, continuous saves.
yeah, well, basically, I grab it by its ears
and
and pick it up.
In a moment of betraying its animal trust in you, you manage to snag a now terrified rabbit.
I just walk over, open the toolbox.
Okay, here we go, and put the rabbit in the toolbox.
Sure.
This is
The
weird.
terrified, sad expression of the rabbit disappears into the endless inky void that is the toolbox. How long can a creature survive in there, Moonstone?
About 10 minutes.
Okay.
Question: how do we plan on getting this rabbit where we want to get it?
Well, we'll have to have Gallo sneak up there with the... I guess you'll have to hand him the toolbox, Moonstone, and he'll let the rabbit out and shoot towards the manticore.
And
You
how
should-
do we know that the rabbit's going to go towards it?
Generally, rabbit's first instinct is to run away from the thing that's near it, so it'll see Gallo first.
And if Gallo is near it, won't the manticore go for the both of them? Because the rabbit, as soon as it is set down, will attempt to run, thus alerting the creature, yes.
True, but the point is to hopefully be stealthed in like a bush, so it just looks like it's emerging from a bush.
Julius makes a bit of a concerned face, glancing at Gallo and then back at Crotus. This sort of, in the end, sounds like we are risking one individual, which was our reasoning for not doing other plans, wasn't it?
Well, there's a difference from having the person be the target immediately and them taking a chance that they might also be a target.
Let's see, here's the thing. We can either have me go out there alone, which honestly I'm not the most keen on. Break its leg, let it hop around close by us, or if the rabbit will go... Actually, if we station ourselves around the area, the rabbit will know that we are there. And it'll run in a specific direction, at least for a bit, enough where it's in view of the manticore. Wouldn't that be enough?
I think that's our best bet, obviously.
Because as stealthy as I am, there is no guarantee. Sometimes I may hit a twig, hit a rock.
Get caught by a warg.
Yeah, get caught by a fucking... Don't remind me!
Oh boy.
Julius kind of like rubs the back of his neck, still kind of looking between the two. Well, alright, say that we are going along with this plan and it's the safest bet. Should we not also maybe prepare for worst case scenario in case it does spot Gallo so he's not all on his own in danger?
Well, I don't
We're
expect
gonna-
him to be more than like 40 feet away from us. He's just gone ahead for a scout, not exactly all the way by himself.
Yeah,
Because we have to be
basically.
we have to be close enough to attack the manticore too, so we have to be close as well.
Do we know how quick
I-
these creatures are?
But the manticore thing.
Yes.
It's just
From
a
our roles
shot
in
in
the
the
past,
dark,
we
but
know.
it's probably faster than any of us with its wings.
Yeah, once we saw this, it's gonna kick it off, and once it's down by our position, we're hoping to more or less clip its wings and try to more or less beat it within a bloody pulp before its might can get down there.
Mm,
I
still,
just
it
need
could
to
fall.
stay.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I just need to stay within foliage anywhere that I can hide.
Grotus looks up. I mean, you've got the better idea, Julius. We're all ears, but
And he glances to Gallo. You're quite alright with this plan, yes?
I'd rather do the latter version of the plan, in which I still let the bunny free and let it run away from myself.
Speaking of which, Moonstone will just reach into the box, quickly pull the rabbit out, and then put it back in so it gets its 10 minutes of airs back and close the box.
Tiny rabbit screaming.
Moonstone the magician, watch me pull a rabbit out of my toolbox.
Sure. You pull it out, put it right back in. Its amount of air doesn't really change.
So, alright,
Oh,
just
how
to
long do I
clarify.
leave the box open to let it refresh?
A decent while. It's not like an open space. It's an interdimensional wormhole. You can't just like refresh it. Like this isn't like refreshing in a video game where you just pull it out, like set it back.
Otherwise, that'd be a hold
It's
your
not a
breath
big deal.
thing. Yeah.
But they're like, if you guys wait too long, it could start. But that's like, it's not a big deal right now. It's only if you guys start trying to do something else now.
Yeah. Basically, we gotta get moving now, or that rabbit is going to suffocate, spoiling the plan. So.
You're in a forest. There are more rabbits.
Well,
Just send like an army of rabbits. That's the new plan. Army of rabbits to assault the Manticore.
Plan off.
I don't have.
1,000 manicore-sized rabbits or one rabbit-sized manicore.
Which one is stronger?
I think I'll take the one rabbit-sized manicore.
Oh.
What were you saying, Julius?
I don't have any issue with the plan. I just do want to check that you're alright with being put the most at risk in this plan.
I won't be put as risk as much given. He looks over to Xavier. If I have a little help, I have cover. If I do this by a tree, if I let the rabbit go in its own direction and not me having to plop it over the cliffside.
I don't know what you were looking at Xavier for, but currently he seems a bit distracted with the mosquitoes that are currently around his.
He like reaches over and like his hand hovers and then smacks his face. Got
What
it.
was that for? Wait. Oh shit, yeah, you're right. And he kind of like bites a little bit on his tongue, and the corpse that was still on his forehead begins to burn and smolder until it's not there anymore.
Oh my god.
Alright, so we're all going
But,
then?
Well, Xavier, I think now would be a good time for me to have. He opens his palm. The help.
He needs the boost to his stealth, lad.
Oh, all right.
There you go.
I'm confused. All right. Okay. He kind of like his hand begins to glow just a bit, and he's just like, "The one to make you all limber, right?" Alrighty, and he just kind of rubs a little bit more, and then proceeds to just kind of do 4 quick dots in the direction, not even touching, just like in the direction, pointing at both arms and both legs, and that same familiar warmth just kind of spreads through your body. And then he kind
Rolls
of
his shoulder back.
he kind of like wags his hand back and forth like it's sore all of a sudden. And he's just, all right, I should handle it.
So you're just giving that to Gallo?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
All right. Where's the rabbit?
You
Hands
all,
in the toolbox.
Takes toolbox. All right, now you can go, Chris.
you all head your way back to the site of the Manticore. Those of you not looking to draw his attention, staying back far enough that you don't need to make stealth checks, unless you wish.
Well, I think we're going to have to get close enough that we're close enough to help Gallo. We want to be within 30 feet of Gallows, or 30 to 60 feet of Gallo.
Okay.
How close would that have to be for not stealth
You
checks for
could
Gallo
do
to move
60 without having to make stealth checks.
in? Okay, then we'll stay within 60 feet of Gallo. Then everybody
Okay.
agreed?
I'm agreed with that.
Yeah.
We'll say I have you guys on the map already, right? Yep. We'll
Wait,
say
what
for the
is-
sake of it, you guys are about 60 feet from this bush. Gallo,
Where am I going to be?
you will be entering from this side and making a stealth check.
By the way, as we enter, like when Gallo's about to go up, just so you say, I'm going to activate my ice rune and up my strength for 10 minutes.
Sure thing. So Gallo, please roll a stealth check against a. Wow, I never get good rolls for the Manticore. 8 plus 3, so 11.
All right.
And an
with
advantage stealth check.
Help. And I just go. Wait. So So we're over here, right? But the Manticore can see over here.
It has a slight line of vision, yeah. If you wanted to like hide there, as in like you'd make a stealth check and not have to make concurrent ones, then you could.
Say that one more time. Sorry, my brain just farted.
Well, so for how stealth works, of course, if you make a check but then do not move from that spot, you don't have to make concurrent checks to continue to hide there.
Okay.
So if you wanted to, on this stealth roll, if you wanted to get to there, and then try to move somewhere else to maybe get closer to let the bunny go, that is up to you.
Is it possible with one stealth check I'd be able to go over here, put the bunny down, and come back? Or is that two?
You would. As a note, that is pretty far from the Manticore. Like, it is about 60 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And you imagine the bunny's not going to run directly at it.
Yeah.
It's a very, clear and prominent thing. Just note that, the further you are away from it, there's less of a chance that the Manticore itself will notice, as it'll be making its own perception check and trying to land a shot if it sees it.
Yeah. Okay. He will look.
Is we should have prepared 3 rabbits.
No, it's just you gotta make sure you kind of place it. I'd say anywhere above that ridge, it would probably have a better chance of spotting it.
Yeah. I was about to say.
It's a bit weird.
Okay. So here's a little weird. Fucking arrow.
You can put yourself on the.
Ow! Okay, so here's weird, but over here is definitely.
That would be fine-ish, yeah.
Okay. He will look over to Kessex then, and just look at him. Look at his hand, and you throw rocks, right?
Well, you are a decent way. Kessex and them are nowhere close, unless you want them to be making stealth checks too. It's
he wanted to ask something. Oh, has he already moved?
Well, technically, you haven't rolled your stealth check yet, so.
Okay, yeah, before moving, he would look at Kessex and ask him, just you throw rocks, right?
No.
Stares at him longer. Well, I suppose anybody can, but yeah, would Gallo know that it's kind of far? Because I, as a player, would know. What does he know?
Yes, that's what I told you.
Okay, cool. Thank you. This first ridge over here, any points, is going to be slightly out of sight. We need to make sure that the Manticore will notice this rabbit. Can somebody throw a rock its way?
Well,
If we throw a rock, though, it might be more... Again, not an animal, right? I mean, it'll know someone threw a rock.
and if you hurt it, won't it just start screaming anyway?
I mean, perhaps, and you know what, for the sake of easiness using the map, would this spot be better to hide to push the bunny hopefully this way? Or compass, like hide here
the north.
and then
Actually, yeah.
shove it that way, and then it'll kill it as it sees it bolt that way. You can kill
You
it
could
that
try.
way.
Actually, yeah. Probably a bit better than trying to like go over here.
Or
Okay.
or if we're going to risk going higher, which I'd suggest not to, because the point is to get it as far away from the nest as possible.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Instead, I guess using the first stealth that we have already, Gala's going to be over here instead of over here. And
I need you to place yourself on the map, by the way. Like,
oh, okay.
if something happens, that's where you'll be when combat starts.
Right. Okay. Let me just go. Boop.
I mean, I'd straight up be okay with Grotus doing this, with the one problematic thing that Grotus is about as stealthy as a child wearing pots and pans.
And
Right,
so,
so
you
I'm
are
gonna
going
do
to
a-
attempt to
So
release
I'm going.
the rabbit.
Yep.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess since I'm still far away, I don't have to do a stealth roll.
No, this is where you have to.
You're still on your first. This is still your first stealth roll. You haven't done one yet.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Then he is going to take the rabbit out of the toolbox,
Okay.
and he is going to set it down. He's going to hold it for a second and just kind of put it in the direction of having it try to run this way, and just kind of pat it on the butt to start doing so.
Okay.
And
Again,
release
I need
it.
you to make a stealth roll
All right. And I have
with advantage. Yeah.
three.
Just to see if you get 22. You get to there, just fine. You would know probably the best way to do this isn't to let the rabbit know the manticore is there. You're probably best just to like essentially put the toolbox on the ground, like pull the rabbit, and just without a moment's hesitation, just let it go.
Okay. Then in that case, he will do that.
Sure thing. The moment you pull it out, of course, the moment the rabbit is greeted with the world once again and is able to see you, which of course it notices first, it does start to run. Even with that terrible roll, the manticore will notice because it's not a blind character. You kind of watch as the rabbit like dashes forward. The manticore, like you immediately see those like cat-like eyes start to kind of follow it for a moment. You kind of see the tail start to kind of perch upwards, and we'll say for the sake of it, the rabbit has an AC of 11.
Yay, just hit.
Just barely finds the rabbit.
That would have been such a fucking bro moment.
Oh, I know. There was a part of me that was like, oh, it's got a +7. It's like, I mean, it's not impossible for it to miss.
It just misses, the rabbit goes off. It's like,
Yeah.
damn it.
Me
I was hoping for it, but there was a very unlikely chance.
giving inspiration to the manticore.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like, no, that manticore needs to fucking die. Get that fucking rabbit.
You watch
Fuck
as
this
the
in
rabbit,
particular.
we'll say for the sake of ease, the rabbit gets to about here. You kind of watch the tail spike. It's not a clean kill. It lands kind of in the, I don't know what you call it, where like a lot of the meat is on a rabbit, like a lot of the
side?
the flank,
The
yeah, the
thigh?
flank of the rabbit.
Flank.
It stabs into it. The quill is about the size of the rabbit though, and the rabbit does not survive long after the quill hits. You kind of watch the manticore. Yep, I'm always getting terrible rolls for manticores. You watch it kind of like turn and like look back to the nest, like waiting for a response. And then it kind of just starts to move slowly forward. You hear it just like this, the weight of its front legs kind of as it slowly moves down the rocks. It gets to about here, and you watch that like elvish-like face start to open with the razor teeth, and it just starts to grab at the rabbit.
As soon as it grabs a rabbit, we move. That was the plan,
Okay.
guys.
When we
We'll say that this is the thing that triggers combat. So you would all, because you didn't need to roll a stealth check, but you triggering combat will get you to here, on this plateau.
Perfect. Hopefully that's
You guys
where
can
we
place
want to
yourself however you want there. There is
anywhere on
no
the plateau.
question anywhere on this plateau. Yeah.
be. Okay, so move up to as high as I can. Grotus would go charging in.
Yeah, of course. There is no question if the Manticore saw you or not. Its eyes immediately kind of flick open as you're just running through the bush towards it.
By the way, since this was I would have also, as I started running, I would have activated my secondary rune for the hill rune as well, if that's allowed.
Is that a bonus action?
It's a bonus action.
I will say that's fine.
Okay.
So that makes you big?
No, my bonus. No, that's my half damage rune. So any physical damage is
you
half
have
by
3
me.
runes?
I have 2 runes, and the giant form isn't a rune. That's just something I can do without a rune.
Okay. I'm getting this now. I should really fully read that again because it's been a couple months. Xavier, if you could put yourself on the map.
So do we, with this being a surprise thing, do we all have one thing that we're able to do?
No, this was for you guys not to have to challenge its stealth.
Is everybody else on the map,
To-
or I'm just blind?
Basically, we used our
Bottom of
surprise to
Your
dash.
surprise
where we
was
are.
getting there without having to ever worry about it spotting you.
But you do have a bonus action though, Nikki, because
I'd let you 2 bonus actions.
Oh wait,
if you wanted
am
it.
I unable to?
I will.
I have to zoom in a little bit more. Okay.
I will bonus expeditious retreat on myself.
Okay.
Well, that would mean you
That-
get 30 feet closer. So
yeah, you could move another 30 feet if you wish.
Okay.
which would
So
get
from
you
what I
within melee of it.
So from what I understand, we are going to jump this thing. I can attack it now.
Well, now we'll go into initiative, and it goes into full-blown combat.
All right.
One last quick thing though. Would Gallo get a free shot as a surprise attack because they did stealth in?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
You guys have already ran in. It would either have been Gallo triggers it. Gallo would have had to specify a held action beforehand.
No, fair enough.
If Nikki can
okay.
do the expeditious retreat, could I use my bonus action Phoenix thingy? I forgot what it is called. It is called Mantle.
You can.
Right.
I just want to make it clear, though, that while this isn't a quiet thing either, immediately lighting yourself like a torch might draw attention.
Yeah,
Okay. So I'll give it to
No, and it's it won't change anything with this Manticore. If, and there is, another Manticore is sleeping in that nest, I will give it a perception check to see if it wakes up to a now roaring flame running at it.
To be fair, it is only 10 feet and 20 feet in total.
Yeah, dude, 20 feet of flame?
That's
Hey, from downhill.
I'm gonna agree with Chris. That is kind of loud.
You're a bonfire, mate.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I did want to ask, if I use my feline agility to move, could I actually get an action instead of a bonus action? So instead of dashing, I can just use that, and then I can use my action for something else before.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Is my stealth still?
Yeah, you're still hidden.
Okay, sweet.
But for the sake of this, will everyone... Oh, I gotta put on their name. Sickle.
battle music.
Both those, actually. But Sickle as well.
Oh yeah, Sickle.
Oh no!
Ooh.
Hey, Rhythm.
Oh come on! If I ever needed a good stealth roll. Oh shit! I rolled the wrong thing. I got a 6 initiative. I rolled Dex instead of initiative by accident, but it's a 6.
Oh, this is bad initiative when I'm right next to it.
Oh no.
Hey, maybe it'll roll terribly.
I was debating on joining you, Nikki, and just action surging up there, but I'm I might need that action surge to take this thing down.
Oops, fair. Heath, if you just want to add in your number when you get the chance.
Oh, yeah, I can do that now. I didn't see I was in turn order. There we go.
Me contemplating, do I use my inspiration on initiative?
You can choose to. The Manticores get 4. God.
Oh, we're fine.
Oh man, what is with my terrible rolls with them lately?
At least you're not Heath who rolls fucking nat 20s off the bat.
For the sake of it as well, no point in hiding it anymore. There are other Manticores in the nest. But they are currently sleeping and will not awake till after the first round of combat has passed.
That's what we were hoping for. We just want one round of combat to unleash. That was the entire purpose of this plan.
Yeah. Sickle as well needs to...
All right, tactical strike team, on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark.
Sickle gets a 17.
No, Sickle goes first.
Hey, Sickle!
Moonstone is aroused.
Sure. That's, I guess, your choice.
Bonus action to have a boner.
So, as you all kind of like start to run at it, its mouth still full of this rabbit meat. You all start like running towards it. You watch it kind of like look up, its eyes meeting with you. Those massive wings start to unfurl almost in a threatening manner, attempting to show you just how large of a creature you are coming up against. Julius, you run directly towards it. Its head is near the size of your torso. This horrid elvish figure, now lined with razor teeth. Before the manticore can attack you, though, Sika will move forward, hop the ledge, spending an extra 5 feet of movement.
Julius in his head is just like, why am I doing
And will bonus action rage and make 2 bite attacks. She's free of exhaustion now.
Crunch, crunch.
23 to 27.
The crit, fuck.
Me. 13 and 17.
So 30 damage.
And I get some of like the
total.
highest damage rolls possible. Go fuck yourself. So 30
Just-
damage off the first attack.
Just like to point this out, Grotus is the one that saved her.
You watch Sicko like leap forward, almost in this like Superman-esque style, before colliding right below the mane of the manticore, right in its like shoulder area, tearing one piece of flesh and just burying her face again, pulling into it. You hear the manticore. This immediate kind of recognition of pain of this creature in all its ferocity, immediately feeling injured. Gallo, you are considered stealth. from-
Wait. Sorry.
What?
I rolled a 16 in my initiative. I just never it didn't register.
Oh, because you didn't click your token.
Yeah, that's my
Where's your
bad.
initiative roll?
16.13.
You're right. Okay, so then it would be your turn next.
All right. Me in the distance, fearful. I don't know. He just kind of spots this thing, and I will say for like a moment, he kind of feels the fire trickling within him to where his skin almost just begins to glow, but he kind of bites his own lip to kind of keep it down. And reaching forward with his hand, grappling his wrist with the other, he's just going to focus just with a bit, and his eye begins to glow just ever so slightly. And he's going to cast a Scorching Ray at the motherfucker.
Sure thing. Are you activating your Phoenix thing before?
I'm not.
Okay. So fire away. You have 3 shots.
I'm a normal sorcerer now, guys. Fear. Alright, so that is... Oh, shit. It's not the attack roll. Blah.
Nope. That's good.
One moment.
Yeah, you have to click on the attack damage on your main sheet to get that.
Yeah, it never used to do that for me.
It depends on how you write the spell.
Oh,
5. Like a little firework.
You know what? You fucking know what? If the next one is cursed, I will use my fucking...
The choice is yours.
My God, it's
It's
damage.
Another one flies off.
Duh, max damage on the first one too. That's so
Yeah.
horrid.
It's unfortunate.
You still got your third roll. Oh, third attack.
Why'd you roll it like that? Xavier?
That was his inspiration he used, I believe,
Yeah.
on his first
Oh,
on that
okay.
attack.
Yeah, I really didn't want terrible
Sure.
ass
So
things happening
your
to
second
me.
shot does impact for 7.
Roll your third shot.
Oh,
20 will impact for 8. You hit for 15 damage. One of the shots kind of like flies upwards, though 2 of them kind of careen and properly match their target.
seeing
You
as
watch the flame kind of buffet its wings and start to burn the flesh.
see as this is the first time I actually hit a Scorching Ray, he just like immediately after shooting, he's like, "Woo! Oh,
Gallo's on the side, side-eyeing him from behind a tree, judging him.
Gallo.
I actually, just real quick, no, he was gonna go ahead and, yeah, for the sake of the fact that we're bolting this thing, gonna go ahead and quicken the spell, and just immediately afterwards, with his palm, he just closes it, grips the fire that's still in his hand, and just ejects the last bit, and we'll throw a fire.
Go for it.
Nice.
All
Yeah,
right,
you gotta click
forgot.
on the damage.
Ah! I know I'm so used to the other way. Fuck.
A 12. It like scorches the ground beside it. but unfortunately, you do not hit with that.
Damn it! And he just kind of waggles his now steaming hand.
Gallo. A shot of fireworks. Physical contact has been made. The creature does not see you.
Alrighty, then is going to use a sneak attack.
Sure thing. So roll an attack at advantage.
Just Gallo things.
Just Gallo things. He gets his bow ready, he aims it, and not that it really matters, but for flavor, he is going to try to aim for the joint of the closest wing.
Sure.
Whoop! 18!
An 18 will hit.
Why do you
And,
have a +0 to your hit?
Yeah, that should be a. You should have a lot
What
more
the
to
heck?
hit, but you still hit.
Okay. I don't know where the thingy is.
What's your dex mod?
It is 4.
So you should have a +6. The 24 definitely hits. So now you
Okay.
can roll your 3d6 plus 5.
That's weird. I thought I had this as a roll. 3d6 plus 5. So, whoop! 17.
17, man.
We're just messing this thing up.
Yeah.
How damaged does this thing look already?
It's not yet bloodied.
Alright, I will say that as soon as it impacts, it pierces through the joint, and you can hear a little sickly crack before the blue of the magic dissipates.
For
And
sure.
I'm assuming, I don't need to do anything with my stealth because I'm still hidden.
You would, after firing at it and hitting, you can attempt to re-hide.
Okay.
But you will reveal yourself upon it. Like upon shoot, because you shot, you revealed yourself to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Skulker only works if I miss.
Oh, what does
Let
that
me-
feat specifically say?
Secure through shadows, you
You
can
are
try to
hidden
hide when you're
and
lightly
miss it.
obscured.
Yeah, only when you miss.
Okay. In that case, I will take my bonus action.
Yep.
To continue to
Roll a
hide.
stealth check.
At advantage, because you still have
You still
concentration.
have that, so long as he's concentrating. Which reminds me, just so I don't forget, yeah, you're hidden. Just so I don't forget, we'll put the concentration symbol on Xavier. With that, Moonstar or Kessex, whichever one of you has the highest DC, you're up first. Or dexterity, I mean.
I think we're tied. I have a +3.
Okay, then we'll... Do you have a +3?
Yeah, I have a +3, so go ahead. Go ahead.
Here, allow me, as I look at this thing, kind of like kiss my fingers real quick as I take out a vial that has this cylindrical shape to it, and you see this sort of like as a little stick and these feathers come off of it, kind of like a dart. Like, imagine basically a giant dart that's like flat at the end. I shake it up, give it a little flick, and you see this, the liquid inside just kind of glow bright blue for a second as I yeet! And it lands and creates as it lands, it creates this like powder of this bright glowing glittery stuff in that area as I cast, where's the damn spell? There you are.
Fairy fire, yeah.
Yes. A dex save by the first magic, or 22.
Oof.
You watch as you kind of like throw the canister towards it. The arrow recently hit by the wing recently hit by Gallo just kind of like flexes, breaks the arrow, and in a like kind of wide wave of the wings, it hits your canister, and you just watch it.
Why do I never get this? I think
You got it before.
I got it on one creature out of 5.
Look, it happens, mate. I'm sorry. Do you have anything else you want to do? You have bonus action and movement.
I'll just say, what do I have? Nah, that's about it. I'll just go and say, alright, that was fun.
All right. With that, Sir Kessex.
Yeah, it's 5 feet of movement to go up that ledge, right?
I'll say you can make it 30 feet. I'll give you 5 foot extra.
Oh, okay, because I still have 10 feet of movement after that.
Oh, then yes, it is 5 feet. I just want you to be able to participate.
Oh. Okay, well, yeah, I will run up. I will draw my glowing sword. And I will attack it. Sorry, hold on. There we go.
14.
A 14 unfortunately just misses.
Okay.
As you swing towards it, you kind of feel your saber impact on the mane, not piercing the skin as it matches against the quills and gives this horrid sound of bone hitting steel.
Okay, and then I will take one step back.
What's weird?
I'm mobile. I can disengage.
Yes, you're correct. With that, it's still looking right at you, Julius.
As Julius goes, Grotus just want to shout one thing. Julius, make sure you move out of the way! I'm going big!
He is deafened by fear right now. But
Oh no.
he will, quaking with very, very shaky hands, he will grab the potion he got from Moonstone and drink that.
Sure thing. I will need to be reminded what that does.
It's basically blessing a potion.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not able to be knocked out though, so it's not a con thing.
So, put that there, and he will swing with the sword. Where's my sword? Oh, right, I forgot I changed the name.
Why? Because
Oh,
Yep.
Oh, fuck yourself!
Wait! You can
And I will put a
Smite.
smite into it.
Another 48.
Smite.
Yep.
Smite.
So you got 48. So you do 18 damage.
Plus
Oh!
32 damage.
32 damage.
Damn, that's
But yeah,
almost
Gallo, if
like...
you space out the damage, it's just easy to tell when you have what sneak attack adds and not. That way, if it doesn't, if you for whatever reason you don't have sneak attack, it's just easier. Fucking Julius, kind of like in that moment of fear, in that moment of like slight distraction, as Kessex like runs beside you, and the creature has to parry that blow. You just like take your blade and jam it through like a center, kind of right below where the main ends, kind of right into the chest. You hear this horror. Yeah, 32 fucking damage. It's now bloodied.
Julie's staring wide. I just like, I did a thing. I did a thing!
The
Move out of the way!
towards you.
Julius will move out of the way now that the fear has moved away at surprise, so he hears Grotus this time and moves.
Okay, so
For sure.
Grotus, as he's running forward at full speed, instead of like what would be a leap, he just like in midair just grows to double size and just runs across the thing normal as I cast my giant size to get 20 feet. So I need to be enlarged because that brings me here.
Yep. Sorry, just typing one thing up.
Yep, no worries.
Chris is just writing to himself, reminder. Fuck the party.
Dude, I've got such my only good rolls so far this session has been to sickle.
And first thing Grotus is going to do
Thing.
Oh yeah.
is he's going to grapple this thing so it cannot fly away.
Sure thing.
And
So
this
it's
is at
you versus-
advantage because I'm enlarged. I have athletics at advantage.
Lord boy.
Okay.
That's part of my giants thing.
Yeah.
Like all strength saves and checks are at advantage.
Yeah.
The 24.
15. You managed to replacing one of your attacks, you managed to like kind of wrap around the creature before it can attempt to fly.
And then with my bonus action, I use my offhand attack.
Yes, you still can do that.
And I will crack him in the head with Daddy's Warhammer.
You will attempt one hand. 24.
Crack for 13!
It's now broken over 100 damage.
You see this giant orc going, "Argh!" wrestling this giant tiger beast in hand, grappled.
With that, you have it grappled, so you cannot move, it cannot move from you.
Yeah, it cannot move away from me, so it cannot fly away. The little fucker
Yes,
is caught with
that's
us.
Beat the
You
shit
kind
out
of, as you kind of grab it, slamming your warhammer into its skull, you just kind of hear, "Sister! Food has found its way to our doorstep!" And you just see one of those massive claws, not going for Grotus, going for the one that dared pierce its breast.
Oh boy.
As it's going to start against our good friend. Did my music just stop? Goddamn.
Yes.
I forgot to God fucking damn.
Oh, all right. Actually, to kick him while he's down, there were also just rose petals after doing it.
Yeah, like that was.
I mean, he's a giant ass
flourish right
beast. He doesn't
there.
care.
I like to imagine whenever you do the smite, the rose petals actually like ignite into a small flame when they reach the edge of the. Tree.
So first attack against Xavier. 18.
It's a
Or not Xavier, sorry,
disadvantage.
Julius.
Okay, I was.
What's making it a disadvantage?
No, if it was at Xavier, that would have been with its
Oh,
tail.
yeah.
That would have made a disadvantage.
No, tail
What
range is
did Xavier?
100. It would have been a flat roll.
What did
So
Xavier?
does an 18 hit you?
You're good.
That's my
Okay.
AC.
I need people to stop talking. Does an 18 hit you?
That's my AC.
That's an AC. You feel this massive feline paw like slam into you.
Wait, I
The
thought
claws barely getting through the chainmail with that terrible roll.
I thought your DC was 19.
Nope. 18.
Long sword and shield.
Yeah, and chainmail.
Yeah, you're
18.
right.
I
Right.
thought you took fighting.
Second attack, going for claw again. A 17 misses that time.
So the first one hit me.
Yes, so you took 5 slashing because I rolled bad on damage. I thought
Wait,
their
yeah.
damage was higher. Anyway,
Nikki, what's your fighting style?
Defense thing.
Yeah, that adds plus
oh,
one.
so
to
then
your
yes,
AC.
you'd have 19.
Yeah.
Is
What?
your AC.
Oh,
Yeah. We got your back,
You're wearing
homie.
chainmail, correct?
Heck yeah.
thank you. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, then it missed.
so those 2 attacks both miss then.
Oh yay. Okay.
Yeah,
oh, I could have
defense.
missed out on damage before.
If it's defense or protection, if it's protection, it's defending against somebody else. But like if it's
Fucking
defense, then
shit.
yeah, you get the plus one to AC.
And then fourth attack, it has to make against a different target. It'll go for you, Grotus. As you just start to hear that tail swinging wildly, it will attempt to bludgeon you with a tail spike. Its fourth attack is always a disadvantage, though.
All those attacks.
That
misses.
misses.
Yeah, look at this shit, dudes.
Listen, we got the right people in the right spots.
With that, the other Manticore does awaken and look down from the top perch. She will now roll her initiative.
It's got
They are
what's its plus to hit? You said, Chris?
For its claws, it has a 5. For its bite, it has a 6.
Okay. Weird. It's odd to see that different.
I usually just make it a bit different just for my own sake. I like to have a bit of variety.
Okay, fair. Yeah, I was
The
just
second
curious.
Manticore is on a 15. You watch the other Manticore kind of perch upwards. You all see that tail just kind of start to reach around, aiming towards you all. Sickle first. Sickle's gonna do the only thing Sickle does.
Chomp.
Nom 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 nom.
Crunch.
Fucking Miss Pac-Man over here.
2 bite attacks. Fuck
Oh my
you,
god!
game. Fuck you.
Sickle is deserves
I hate this
all the
game.
credit.
She's the
26
This
MVP.
is garbage.
It really is.
Fuck this game. Fuck this shit. I'm honestly a bit mad.
That's what you get for giving us NPCs.
That's...
Hey, NPC as reward isn't always a good thing, alright?
To be fair, guys, we are never allowed to piss off Sickle. It's official now. We will die if
Yeah.
it becomes party versus Sickle.
Xavier, seeing the
I may
Manticore
have to
above
affect you later.
start to awake and prepare herself, what do you wish to do?
Fuck.
So fucking
Fuck.
mad.
Fuck.
I'm getting amazing rules for Sickle, but not for anyone else.
Methinks. Shit. Okay. Yeah, not yet. Okay, so first, I'm gonna go ahead and he's just gonna go ahead and kind of clutch his hand and just with a bit of a flare to his right eye. It's just he's going to expend 1 spell slot to Actually, no, I have to do that later. Never mind. So I'm gonna go ahead and cast another Scorching Ray,
Okay.
and then I will quicken it to attempt to use.
You got another Scorching Ray spell slot?
Yeah, if he's
one
third level.
more. One more, yeah.
Or
I thought you only had
wait,
two,
no. So you used
but you
used
cast,
enhance ability. Yep.
which is a spell slot, and Scorching Ray is a set. You only have 2 third-level spell slots. Or I guess you're level
No.
at level 4 because you
At
don't get
4.
3
Oh, yeah,
until
4.
5. I thought. I thought you didn't get your third one until 5. I could be wrong. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you get the 2
Yeah,
at
we
level.
know.
Oh,
Just let's move on.
Okay, fair. Yeah.
I'm good. I got you. But yeah,
Fool.
so again, forgot.
Why is it abjuration?
I don't know, man. I just put it in from the compendium. They're on some whack shit.
It is an aberration spell for whatever reason.
It is.
I believe so. That's what it
I
says
don't
in
think
the
so.
book.
It's an evocation.
It should be
Yeah.
evocation.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Let me listen to the book that's right in front of me.
that's the
18
one.
hits.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, it's evocation. Second one misses.
Hey.
That one hits for 11 damage. 2 more
Alright.
shots impact into the creature. It is not
And-
looking very good anymore.
I'd hope
Um,
so.
Going to scorching. No, not scorching. Going to quicken, and like with that last bit again, he's just going to shoot that last firebolt.
Go for it. A 15 matches. So
So it hits.
Nice.
Oh,
All right. Xavier will just kind of look around. It's just like, this is a good time to flame up, maybe.
Go for it, lad!
Oh, shit. All right. Give me a second.
Wait, and Moonstone just kind of like gently nudges him like just a little way, so just be like, just step over there when you do it, so you don't hurt me.
He kind of gives you a slight smack on the shoulder before stepping away.
this, yep.
Ignites himself as he slaps him. Oh god!
No, better yet, I'll flavor it as like when he kind of does, it creates a little bit of a spark that begins to emanate from his skin, but then he walks away before it gets hot.
Okay. Getting to the manticore at the top. Clearly seeing the immediate danger, she is going to keep her distance. I'm going
great.
to need... I think she can, right? A 15-foot cone?
Ooh,
Oh,
hoo.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
No, actually, okay.
Oh.
She only choose to get 3 of you.
No.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll go for the one that the Manticore is focusing on. So I'll need Julius, Kessix, and Grotus to all make a dexterity saving throw, including the large Manticore.
Julius, you get a
Scorches
plus.
over.
You get an
Yep,
extra
Yep,
D4.
yep.
He fails. Kessix is fine. Fuck you both!
Will you
And
be
the
fine?
Manticore.
Will you be fine?
Okay, at least the Manticore was also fine.
Dude, we'll see. We gotta see what the damage is and what it is.
Okay.
You kind of watch as that tail pierces upwards. You kind of watch all the quills kind of rescind for a minute before it launches just this volley towards you. Over a dozen of these quills just fly through the air, all in a cone pattern, not caring for friendly fire. Start landing within the dirt. Those of you that pass take half. Well, Heath, you also take half.
Because I take half. Yeah, I'm resistant, exactly. So,
it is
whatever.
Physical. So, as you kind of get just riddled with these, 17 damage total is just
Halved for everybody, so...
half for everybody, as
8.
those of you manage to either rely on your armor to take the brunt of it, or dodge out of the way in terms of Kessix, or just, like, get hit in the face like Grutus.
But still does the exact same amount of damage, so I'm
Yep.
okay.
He also takes half, so he's not looking any better, but he's also not looking worse. That is unfortunately all the Manticore can do. With that, we go to Gallo.
Okie dokie. He is going to do the same thing
Go for
as he
it.
did before.
You are still
And,
considered stealth, so you can fire it as you wish.
All right, and hopefully this version will work. So again, he draws his bow, and he will aim for the same wing, just to damage it completely. In hopes.
Oof.
Oh, dear.
10. Pew! Flies wide. With
All right.
with ammo raining from a different direction, all of your companions there, a sure shot is very difficult at this point.
On the bright side, you're, skulker, so you don't gotta even
Yeah,
rehydrate.
you don't gotta
Don't
rehydrate.
worry about that. But
Creature is very focused on the friendly fire. It is suffering. So
And the giant
And,
orc that's just grappling
wait.
it.
who,
Wait a second.
who's on the next on the turn order? Because I can't see my initiative window. Because
it's
action
Moonstone.
It's Moonstone.
Moonstone. Okay. Remind me again. Help action is just whoever I choose, or does it have to be like the next person?
I
Whoever
believe
you-
it has to be right because you're a mastermind. I believe you have to be within 30 feet, though.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to be 30 feet of your
that's right.
of your ally. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
You might be
okay.
able to move at best.
If there is nothing to hide and obscure Gallo, it will reveal and stuff.
Well, to be fair, Kessex isn't with 30 feet of you.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Is it-
because it explicitly says like starting at 3rd level, you can then use a help action as a bonus action. Additionally, when you use the help action to aid an ally in attacking a creature, the target of that attack can be within 30 feet of you rather than
Yes.
5 feet of you if the target.
It has to be the
is-
target.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
the
So
target has-
yeah, the target.
The
Oh,
target-
I don't know because
So
it's weird.
No, it's the target of the attack would have to be the Manticore. That's the target of the attack,
Yes.
right? It's
So,
worded very
again-
specifically.
As I said.
The target of that attack. Okay, no, I didn't read that. Okay, yeah.
I mean, all they could do is move forward to here, but I wouldn't suggest it.
Yeah. No, I'm going to stay put for now. Because I need my bonus
Sure.
action possibly next time. So, yep, he'll just continue to hide and keep watch of the fight.
Moonstone.
Bonus action is use it or lose it, though, Zaku. It's not like you can save it.
Oh, it's not like actions that I can hold.
No, you
No.
cannot hold a bonus action.
Okay. Well, I don't think I have anything else that is bonus action anyway, so yeah. Alright, yeah. End of turn.
Moonstone.
I will just go for a regular attack on this guy with my Ray of Frost.
Go for it.
Oh, damn it. I had
Got
that
it.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a second.
It used to not do that. I'm so confused.
It's what they did with the updates.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey guys, I hit
Wait,
something!
Nice! Hey!
Okay, same hat.
It does 5 points of cold damage.
Very
and-
nice. And the creature reduced its movement.
Yeah! Guys, I did something!
We reduced
Very
its
nice.
movement from 0 to 0.
I mean, if it breaks free, it still suffers that.
True, true.
Nice.
And considering the
Moonstone.
situation it's in, it might want to break free.
If it's still
Uh,
alive by its turn.
Kessex.
Because this thing can go get fucked.
Let's get
This
inside.
Yep, go for it. 19 hits, roll your damage. A 10 plus your radiant.
Yeah. Good. Good.
A 1. How do you want to do this?
Oh!
Does one make the difference?
No, it didn't. He needed 7 damage.
I guess when it opens its mouth to roar, I would like to cut it a wider smile.
Why so
Sure.
serious?
You kind of, in that moment of ferocity and anger, this assault from all directions, you see it in an attempt to defend itself, to frighten you away, open once again that vaguely elvish-looking face. In that moment, you kind of jam the blade in, piercing the tip of it somewhere in the back of the throat before churning it and pushing it. Cutting through some of the lips, making deeper and deeper cuts before eventually the very taut and tough muscle of it just stops your advance. You kind of hold the blade there, that radiance still burning, giving the smell of seared meat. In that moment, Grotus, you start to feel the creature go limp, and it is but a few moments later that this one perishes.
Tosses
My
it over his shoulder.
170 health Manticore. Go fuck yourself. Yes?
Chris, when you're deciding on who to kill, just remember I only did 5 points of damage.
What were we doing, Kessex?
I would like to use Curse of the Fallen Puppet and cause it to attack its friend.
Can you do that
Ooh.
to a non-humanoid creature?
I can do that to any creature with blood.
Can you link me it just to make sure? Because this, like, ranged attacks always feel kind of different for this. When a creature you can see within 30 feet of you, you can use your action to give that kind of friend mode. That creature immediately makes a single weapon attack against a target of your choice within its attack range. Yeah.
Wait, guys, I think it's getting up again.
I'm flavoring it like I'm like sword in its mouth. I'm moving it, and like I don't know, twisting it in ways that makes its like tendons move and stuff like that.
You're kind of
There is a
ratatouilleing the
magical
motherfucker.
element. There is a magical element to
never
it.
mind.
But you do essentially, because like the tail is such a far away appendage from where you're hitting, and the fact of how the spikes are released. But
Okay.
you do
Then it
watch as
just
Keswick
glows
with the
that bright white.
you do watch as Keswick still with like the blade in the mouth twists the blade once. You kind of feel Grotus for a moment. This almost resurgence within the creature as you watch the tail spike turn, and it will fire towards the other one.
Watch it be a nat 20 this time.
It's very possible. 7.
Oh, no.
Nope. Flies wide. Keswick to grapple with a creature's form like this that you really don't know. Unfortunately, your shot misses.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
First mistake was doing it to the creature that can't hit anything.
With that, Julius, the other Manticore is still high above each of these ledges. Well, one in front of you takes 10 feet, and then each subsequent one takes 5 feet to climb.
10, 15, 20, 50. Yeah, I can reach it.
Yep, with Expeditious Retreat, you could.
Yes,
Using
so...
your bonus action, you can get... Well, you can get below it. It is still on a rock nest that is
Another
15
5.
feet up.
Yeah, so you can't reach it physically yet.
The way to get up there is at the back of the nest. You would, however, see, as you kind of get there, and this strange how the rocks are stacked to almost make this shelter, what looks to be a decent value of gold, goods, and other items underneath the nest.
Starts looting.
You do have the toolbox of holding.
No.
Oh, wait, no, that's Gallo.
Yeah.
So wait, how far can I go without using my action?
Without using your action, so you can move 10 feet up here. You got 60 feet. Then you would move... this would be 20, but 25 to get up to here. Then this would be 55, so you could get to here without using your action.
Okay, Julius will...
Remember, if you can't do anything immediately, you could also just take the dodge action to prepare for whatever might come.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, okay. He's running on the high of the fact that he made that nat 20 hit. Goes running forward.
Yeah, you also had the potion.
I haven't had to use it once.
You still feel very...
I'll say yeah, he'll still be cautious though, so I'll say he takes the dodge action.
Sure thing. The creature bears down towards you. This one having a more feminine style of face. Still terrifying. Grotus.
So, given my 15 feet of height, am I disencouraged by that 5-foot thing, or basically the fact that my crotch line is that high?
I mean, getting your knees up to your chest is always difficult. I'll say, to get right there for the 30, you will have to spend the additional 10 to get up the first ridge, but the other ones won't bother you.
So I can only get 20 feet, so I can only get there?
Yes, on your action you can only get there. Or on your movement, you can only get there.
Okay, so I move here. Gets me within... out of range to be chucking stuff, because I don't have javelins, unfortunately.
That is unfortunate.
So I could throw, but it'll be a disadvantage.
Yes. Or are you throwing with a warhammer?
Oh, I have my spears and my hand axes as well.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
I grabbed all those spears.
I think are 30 feet.
No, they're 20-60. Yeah, I know that. They're 20-60s. Only javelins have the 30.
Okay.
Yeah,
no, you're right. I did.
Fuck it, I'll chuck 2 spears at disadvantage. Maybe I'll get lucky.
Sure, I'll let you do 2.
Well, it's my offhand fighting, so I should.
True, but technically you shouldn't be able to pull 2 of them out.
2-weapon fight. I took the 2-weapon fighting. I can draw 2 weapons in one action.
You're correct. So you drop your other 2 weapons. You pull 2 spears.
You know what? Actually, I will just move where I am and take the dodge action. But I will.
Okay, sure.
What else would I do? I'll stow. I will drop my Morning Star and pull a spear in one hand.
Okay. Prepping for the end of this final battle, the creature and you facing off in brutal combat. You watch as the creature fucking leaves. The creature, the female manticore, the sister to the one you slew, looks upon the fact that very few of you are injured, looks to the fact that the other one has already been murked, and fucking leaves. You watch as those massive wings beat. It takes off to the north, using its full turn to move 100 feet northeast of where it is right now.
Yeah, no way we can catch it.
Yeah. This plan worked to perfection. This is the best case scenario.
You watch as the manticore leaves. Whatever attempts you wish to harm it would potentially hit, but not matter, as the creature has a very fast flying speed.
Yeah, I should
have hit it, but I'll hold off.
Me and Julia screwed up. We should have got within melee and then grappled.
I mean, I had always kind of planned the creature would try to run after its brother was killed. You guys murked that thing so fucking quick. Holy shit. With that
was very good.
You watch as the creature leaves. You watch as you have chased away the monster, chased or slew the monsters that burdened this land for the past few months. You watch as a taste of victory finds its way to your mouths, and that's where we'll take a break.
Anybody else?
Fuck you. 170 health manticore, 4 attacks, and it did nothing.
It got one round of combat, then died.
I'm very happy that finally, as a sorcerer, I was able to do what sorcerers should be doing, which is just Nova damage.
I'm thinking of kicking you for that. For one, its vision and the sight of it now fading on the horizon to a point where it completely vanishes, miles and miles away at the pace at which it goes.
Good fucking shit, everyone! And I'm just gonna start running up.
Yeah,
That
well
went
done, everyone.
surprisingly
That
well.
was that went a lot better than I would have expected.
This is gonna go up and check the nest.
For sure.
I'm checking the cave.
So is Grotus.
So, we'll do Julius first. Making your way up towards the nest, you find this rather large, mostly comprised, like similar in ways to how birds are, nest of branches, trees, other things, and a lot of bone. As you look and search through, you see what look to be the remains of dinners, of meals, bones of creatures you both might recognize as human bones or others, or perhaps other creatures, the goblins that stepped out of line, and such.
In the distance, you can just hear Xavier yelling at the top of his lungs multiple times, just, hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Is there anything else that looks to be around?
Roll an investigation.
While they're doing that, I would like to say Kessex takes the time to behead the
Of course.
rest of the head.
You can easily do so. You take some time. Seiko just kind of stares towards the creature, letting that hunger she feels die down. You take the time, Kessex, and slowly start to cut through it. Eventually, rather neatly, as you are not unfamiliar to this, you are rewarded with the head of a rather impressive mantic. Julius, looking through the nest, there are bones, there are many of the spines that the manticore seem to have shed. There is tufts of fur, bones, blood, both dried and fresh. That is all you find.
Can I use my inspiration to look better?
The choice is yours. That does not guarantee there will be anything.
I feel as though the shinies are beneath you.
That's fair. Okay, he'll climb back down.
Sure
So-
thing.
Grotus and Moonstone are going through the loot, what do we find?
Of course. For the sake of this, will the two of you roll me individual investigation checks?
10.
10?
Give me a second.
Manticore backpack. I'm crying.
Investigation, you say?
Yes.
9.
A 9. Unfortunate.
Fuck you, dice.
Is there
Wait, God.
rule after climbing up? He just kind of is like a little bit winded after having to do those ledges, especially after all the scorching rays. And he's just, whew, damn, y'all did real good. And he just kind of gives a collective of like small hugs and pats to everyone in the vicinity before he just kind of looking over towards Sickle, and he just kind of freezes and turns the other way.
Hey, Nikki. Do you want to give one of us your inspiration so we can actually find the real good shinies?
Oh, what you got there?
I would recommend not giving Moonstone your inspiration. All he does is waste it.
Xavier, unfortunately, 2 people make the check.
Oh shit. Okay, my bad.
I'm actually debating.
Choice is yours.
Sure,
You guys
Mike.
are free to use them, but it does not guarantee you will ever find more. Just
Yeah,
making
that's
sure
the
it's
thing.
nowhere.
Sure, Moonstone. I'll let you use my inspiration. You better be sharing your loot, Michael.
Of course! I would never dare!
You suck.
A 13.
You're never allowed to use my inspiration again.
Dylan warned you.
So, as you kind of look beneath, the cave is a small, probably 15-foot squared area. Looking through, you get a sense that this stuff was brought as offerings, but perhaps not stuff the Manticores found useful. Primarily, what you are looking at seems to be the remains of trade carts, of materials and things that were being brought to be sold or bought at markets. Looking through, you find a few small, coffers, which you imagine hold a decent bit of coin. You see what looks to be barrels holding different liquids and other items, a few books, a few wheels of cheese, funny enough. You primarily notice the shinies that you were able to see seem to be 30 pounds of copper trade bars, which go at 5 silver apiece.
Okay, so
30
and-
pounds of copper tree. What was that?
Copper trade bars, essentially
Copper
a
trade
1
bars,
pound
okay.
bar. So
Copper
you have 30
bars, okay.
copper trade bars. Yeah.
So that's 5 gold pieces a piece.
No, not 5 silver pieces a piece.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Grotus, you can have my share.
Looking as well, you see there is a small stack of what look to be silver trade bars. 10 pounds of them, so 10 of them kind of stacked evenly. You would know that these go for, I believe it is 5 gold pieces each.
Grotus, go ahead.
They have a market value, so they're hard to be skipped on, so to say. Looking around, looking through the few coffers, you find 24 copper pieces only, but you do additionally find 279 silver pieces, 88 gold pieces,
Ooh.
and 3 platinum pieces.
Okay.
Other than that, looking through, there are 3 barrels, 2 of which seem to have a non-marked alcoholic beverage that very much smells like a beer or ale, and the third one is a clear cask of what looks to be a wine known as Rickard's Red.
Ah, my favorite.
Julius looks over all the coin and stuff that's all over the place and just gives a sigh and shake of his head and rests his hands on his hips. It's just shame, it looks like there's not much here.
Additionally, you also find, looking through, funny enough, you find 3 moonstone, as my random generator gave me. Tucked within a clear...
so much, though. We don't need 3 of them.
Yeah. Clearly tucked within a small jeweler's case. You also find 6 citrine gems.
How do you spell that?
Citrine?
Yes.
I might be pronouncing it wrong.
I'm guessing it's that.
Yes, you were correct.
Citrine, yeah.
You also find rather nicely made 2 handkerchiefs. One of which has this gold cloth embroidery on it. You imagine it would sell for a decent bit. The other one has this beautiful feather embroidered pattern. Seems like perhaps some rather well-off merchants were most likely murked and killed. And these were theirs.
Well, for simplicity sake... Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, Grotus will take all the bars, since I can carry them all, no worries.
Sure thing.
Or we could put them in
Finally,
box.
for unique items, you find what seems to be a pair of dice made of bloodstone, a type of red crimson gem. They look very nice.
It's also kind of green.
Yep. And finally, you also find what seems to be an unused potion of healing. That was what you would find at baseline, with one of you getting above a 10 for investigation.
Ha!
D100. Keith already hit.
Ow.
I hate to say it.
No, you said above 10. Anyway, got it.
One of you roll me a percentile dice.
41.
41. Looking through, eventually, you find as well, not far from the potion of healing, a small, almost beige-colored potion. Strange inscriptions upon its side, and this small lump of something floating within it.
Being alchemist, can I tell what this is?
You might. Roll me an Arcana check.
I would like to help him since I also have proficiency in that.
It is very possible you would know as well, so roll an Arcana check. DC is a 5th, yeah.
Nice.
Are you waiting on me to roll? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought I was just giving a help action. My bad.
Oh, sure. You could also. The two of you would eventually kind of look to the potion as you kind of look towards it and give it a bit of a shake. You watch as that kind of lump starts to move and turn, eventually revealing what looks to be the remains of a very large toe.
Ah.
You realize that this is a potion of hill giant strength.
Huh. That's pretty good.
Is that
When-
a 2?
Drank
Yes, it
by an
is.
individual, you will find yourself imbued with your strength score turning to 21 for 1 hour.
Question, because this is obviously something that's a little different. I guess actually it wouldn't actually, because that just gives you a flat.
Could you boost your strength afterwards with your ruin?
Yeah, but I guess it doesn't, because it just brings you to a 21, because my does give me a +2 period with Maroon. I
Yep.
don't know, it's a weird one. Does that...
No,
would it,
it would give you, if you ordered it properly.
yeah,
and
so
took
if I drank
first
the
bonus
potion,
action to drink,
and then I use my Ruin, it would boost me to a 23 then.
yes.
By the way, would I, looking at the gems, given my specific background, would I know what
Of
they're
course.
worth?
Do you have proficiency in a jeweler's kit?
I do.
Roll a intelligence check with proficiency then.
Give me a second to switch the mod out.
An 18. While they look nice, you would know that Moonstone and Citrine are more of a commonplace gem. You imagine that all 9 of these will probably sell for around 25 gold. The Bloodstone dice are decently well made and well crafted. You imagine so long as a shop is not buying them simply for the sake of using the Bloodstone for something else, they may catch a 40 gold price each. Like, it's a paradise, so.
Alright, so wait, is that 40 for the set or 80?
80 for the set, if you're selling both of them.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
Yes, it seems like it was rather nicely crafted, and a lot of people would like something like this.
Alright, that's a pretty good bounty, actually, for all these gems.
Also, sorry, you can go.
It was just a quick thing. Could Julius see maybe how much worth the 2 handkerchiefs, 1 golden cloth, and 1 embroidered one?
For sure, roll a general intelligence check. Not a terrible to see.
Does it help that I have proficiency in weaver's tools?
Sure, I'll give you that.
And can I
Sweet.
determine would I know how much a potion of hill giant strength would just be worth on the general market?
Julius, while they are well made, they are not like a master craft or anything like that. You imagine, for the most part, these kind of things would usually go to wealthier traders, as exactly as it is, a handkerchief, more of a piece to fit with an outfit. You imagine both of these could go for around 25-30 each.
Gold?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Woo!
People pay for well done work.
And are they like in good condition?
For the most part, yes. They would still fetch that price. You may have to argue it a bit, though. There is a bit of work that could be done to them, as there do seem to be a few kind of, perhaps the blood of the previous owners on some of them.
Got it. All right, so they're worth around 25 to 30.
Yes.
Could I use prestidigitation to clean them up if I...
Not with stains.
Okay.
Finally, Moonstone, looking towards a potion of Hill Giant Strength. You would know these kind of potions do take a rather rare regent in that of a giant's toe of the preferred type of giant. Because of this, these potions and the natural effect do often catch a heavier price. You would know that they're usually sold from market value. You could usually get around 150, 200 for them.
Alright, so... 100... Alright.
Also, can I, since what was important was the head, right? That we just need to show the head, but we're not. Are we doing anything with the body?
I was actually going to go over and do some stuff with the body.
Okay, because I would like to investigate the body, see if there's anything that at least I can take off of it.
Sure, you can just roll a general investigation check. It is a beast. Unfortunately, it does not wear or carry much with it.
That's fine. Things like things that could possibly sell, like things on the tail, any claws, teeth. Oh wait, no, the teeth.
Would that be investigation then?
What did I say?
You said investigation.
Yeah, okay.
13.
13. You're not sure if the quills would really run for anything. They're unique of certain, and there may be a few kind of collectors that would like them. For the most part, for the size that they are, the teeth and the claws would probably sell better.
Okay. I guess I'll take off the claws, and the quills. Were the quills on the tail or the head the same as
Both.
the ones as the arrows?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. Yes, they are the same. But the tails that the quills that grow on the tail and the quills that grow on the mane are the same as well.
Okay. Then I guess I'll just take some of those and put them in the box.
For the sake of this, then for pulling teeth and claws, roll me a survival check.
Teeth, I will not take
Sure.
because we are offering it. What, the claws? What was it again? Sorry.
Survival.
Take
Survival.
the teeth. I mean, I don't think there's an issue with it, unless I'm
It's up to you.
just an idiot, just because we're paying for a head, not teeth. I think this is proof that we killed it.
You, Kesix, someone who's in the business, you would know if this is something that someone wants to mount, they would be deeply dissatisfied if the teeth are gone. If it's something as a proof of kill, they wouldn't care much.
We worth
okay,
more
then,
for the
yeah,
head
we'll-
than teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll leave
Yeah.
it. I was just
Yeah, I'll stick with just the claws then.
Yeah, go for it. Roll a survival check.
19.
A 19. Though it takes some time and some of the claws are not in great condition, you do get an amount of claws equal to half of your roll, rounded down. So you receive 9 manticore claws.
Nice.
Alright. Would I know how much they sell for?
You would not, but the other... Actually, no, you did get a decent check on the manticore a while back. You would know these don't really serve a super purpose. It's a lot of, nice ornaments, more than anything. You imagine these would probably get you... You could maybe sell them at a couple gold apiece.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Grotus, being Grotus, will walk up to the Manticore now that he's got all his food out, takes out his his cooking tools, and starts collecting meat.
Sure.
Wait, before he starts doing that, can Moonstone just say, "Oi, wait a moment, I want to take a look at that," before you start doing that?
Sure, what do you need?
And Moonstone will just hop down. Can I just, by looking at this thing and kind of poking it over and all that, can I tell if there's anything I can take from it alchemically worthwhile?
For the sake of this, I'll say roll just a straight intelligence check. We'll give it a DC of 15 to know if any of the pieces are worth anything to you. 16. Overall, the Manticore, while considered a monster, does not hold any magical traits to it, really. It is very much a beast of flesh and bone, and while there are decent qualities to the bone and fur, The only thing that could stand out as interesting to someone of your knowledge would probably be the tail. You would know that the manticore manages to release the spines with almost a strange crossbow-like precision, despite there not being what looks to be tension at all. Though, as to the specifics, you are not sure.
All right. I'll just I'll look over to Cat 6 and just be like, can you do me a favor then, mate?
What's that?
Can you grab me the tail? I might be able to figure something out with that.
As a player, I would like to know, why don't you just grab the tail yourself?
Because I'm very weak, and I don't have anything to cut it with.
Yeah, I'll cut it off for you, but I'm not carrying the head and the
The
tail.
tail probably weighs about 30 pounds on its own.
Oh, I was just gonna slot that into the toolbox.
Yeah, of course, you can. As a note, you would know this, the toolbox will not preserve any.
Oh, I know. I just
Okay.
this
Just
is
making
something
sure.
to be looked at for later.
Ngala will
Grotus?
hand over the toolbox then.
Of course. Grotus, you can roll a survival check if you want to pull Manticore meat.
Looks
You imagine
over
the pelt would have been worth something, but y'all really did a number on it.
I was gonna say I could probably get the pelt, but I didn't think there'd be anything left.
Like, there are pieces, and it's like, sure, some people are like, oh, it's a Manticore pelt. But aside from the fact that, oh, it's a Manticore pelt, there is no worth to this pelt anymore.
As Grotus
It
goes
is
to,
burnt and torn and bruised and bloodied and...
And scorched.
for the sake of the gag, though, he'll turn over to Xavier and go, Xavier, you want to help me learn how to, grab the meat from the beast?
Oh, what? Oh, yeah, sure.
And
He'll walk on over.
For sure.
he'll use Xavier to give me an assistance, because I know we're both proficient with survival.
I'll allow that if you're both proficient.
Hey,
And
guys,
meanwhile,
Oh, I was just gonna say real quick. Should I just put
22?
all of our loot in the bag of holding for now to sort out later?
It's totally up to you.
Sure, you can put the copper bars in there, too, then.
Okay, yeah.
They're the bars.
Grotus, you've had gamey meat. You've had bear. You've had wolf. You've had gamey meat before. You have never smelt meat as gamey as this. It will take a strong stomach to eat it, but it is edible.
Do all meat supposed to smell this strong?
Generally not, no. This is a little more potent than most.
Yeah, I forgot what the thing is. It smells like sulfur. Yeah, that's sulfur, right?
It's a bit offensive to the nose. You imagine a very skilled cook could make it decent, but it is a heavy game. Like, for a creature that eats this much and how much meat it tears into, it is bad. No, there are 6 cheese wheels.
6, okay.
Are they like fine crafted cheeses?
No.
Okay.
They're
also
like,
think them.
you'll still get a couple gold for them, but they are not nice.
Sure, for the shits and giggles of it, Grotus will take some to see if he can figure out something to do with it, just as a challenge.
Of course.
And
It's a very
meanwhile,
kind of like an old cheddar cheese. So it kind of breaks apart a bit. It's kind of crumbly, bit strong smelling, but not too tough. Not too tough, like terribly strong. A very like mild cheddar.
Chris,
yum,
random
yum,
question.
yum.
Yes,
How easy would you say cheese making is?
it's not terrible if you know what you're doing.
Okay,
It depends on what kind of cheese you're making.
right, but
Um,
with such a small, oh, no, I guess you would kind of have exports. Yeah, no.
there are a lot of places that specifically make cheese. So like the only ingredient you need that can be sometimes hard to find is just large quantities of milk. The other items are, citric acid, which can be given, salt.
Yeah, no,
everything
I
else
was-
is made in cheese.
I was just thinking because do you think cheese is one of the exports, or I should say imports that have been taken into Caligan? Because otherwise, I was thinking, it's like, does he even know what cheese is?
It's not the rarest. It's pretty rare considering Caligan doesn't have a lot of farmland itself, and you'd only really get it from. You'd only really get it from like it'd be a treat. It'd be like an Easter chocolate.
Damn. Then immediately upon kind of like seeing that, his mouth just kind of drops. He's like, What the fuck? How is there so much?
What? It's just cheese, mate.
Just cheese. That is like a delicacy. Back at Kelloggan, at least. The hell,
Oh.
just cheese.
You can make some pretty good meals with that.
Looking at the cheese, compared to the type that he's had at home, how does it rate in comparison?
It's not terrible. This is the kind of cheese that you'd put, like, that you'd usually eat alone. Right? It's not like a decadence cheese, it's not like a fitting cheese, it's not a garnishing cheese. This is a very, like, what did you have for breakfast? Oh, I had some cheese.
Okay, so it's average.
Yes. It's
It's probably higher quality considering that it's to be eaten by its own.
well, there's cheese that's like meant for cooking. Like, this stuff's not bad
Yeah.
to cook with.
It's
But
a
it is-
mid-range
stuff
cheese.
with crackers and stuff.
This is
like-
this is sandwich. This is cracker cheese.
Yeah,
This is sandwich
This
cheese.
is like basic cheddar.
This
Okay,
is
so
you got it at Costco in bulk cheese.
Yeah.
in comparison to the delicacies that he is used to, it is average.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not very like. It's not like. Oh, du jour cheese. I don't know.
Joe
it's
just like
not
looks
like
at
a-
Xavier freaking out over it and just goes like a curious brow raise.
It's not like a brie. It's
Yeah, it's not a brie. It's not a blue. It's a cheddar.
Is it really that uncommon?
Oh, yeah. I mean, occasionally I would get some. Mama would bring it back for a treat, like every, I don't know, a few times.
It's pretty rare, actually, for the most part, in the more outlying regions.
It is.
Honestly,
takes a bit to make.
Living in the cities, it's not that hard to get by, so.
Man,
Ew.
y'all high-living folks are just something else.
Well, just save one then.
Also, by the
Oh,
way,
could you? Save one?
You can't get a large chunk, it won't last you that long in the box, just so you know. And he says that while, can Gallo take maybe like... like 7 feathers from the wings?
they're
The wings
leather?
are leathered.
Yeah, they're leather
Oh,
wings.
those are
They're not-
leather.
they're not feather
Shit.
wings. Yeah,
Okay.
bat-like.
Oh, okay. Never
By the
mind.
way, guys, after counting just the regular coins, we're looking at 143 gold pieces and 1 silver and 4 copper in total. That's the total value of coins we got.
Of just straight coins?
Yeah, for
Okay.
like
Coins,
we'd have to
yeah.
divvy it up a bit more because I just converted everything to copper and then back into gold to just get a value of what we actually have at hand.
Say it one more time, please.
Essentially, what I did is I converted everything to copper.
No,
and then-
No,
How
how much
much?
the coin is? Yeah. How much
Oh.
the gold is? Yeah.
For the coins in total, we're looking at 143 gold pieces, 1 silver, and 4 copper between all the coins. That's converted into copper, then back into gold.
Okay,
I ain't never seen this. Wow.
Julius gives a worried look as he crosses his arms and looks at the coin. It's not much. What are we going to do?
What do you mean, not much?
I think
It's enough to get by.
it's not enough, though, to buy a prisoner off of a mercenary crew, is what I think he's getting at.
Well, yes, that, and also, I don't think they're going to want pocket change for this sort of...
Well, we also just got a shit ton of valuables that we could go sell.
and the head is still worth something.
This is true.
Grotus, and I will toss you the 71 of my share, half.
71.
Oh no,
Yeah,
that was
that's-
gold in total. Like
Yeah,
that's
That's what I'm talking about. I'm tossing him half of my share. Oh, that was total. My bad.
That's total. That's not per
My
person.
bad.
That was per person. We'd be fine. We had 1,000 gold, but
My bad.
yeah, that is for everybody to share. We got 20 gold apiece, about a little over.
yeah, because I assume we're counting sickle on that count. So, because I'm not gonna tell her no.
You get a sense she doesn't care.
Oh, cool. In that case, we're looking at.
She hasn't exactly seemed monetarily interested in anything so far, and she
We're
doesn't
looking at
seem it
20,
now.
23 gold apiece with one remaining.
Grotus, you would take 10 extra.
Thanks a lot. Any reason you're giving it to me?
Well, I mean, figure it's considerate since we're about to fuck over your payday. Or at least attempt to.
He looks at the gold. That's great. I have a feeling, though, every coin's going to matter if we're going to get that guy out, though.
Do with it what you want.
Well,
Fair enough.
I mean, and Moonstone holds up the potion of Hill Giant Strength. This is worth a pretty penny. I just gotta find a buyer, which honestly, Red Horns would probably be it.
Do people actually drink that?
Considering it can give you a strength to lift a boulder, yeah.
You just close your eyes.
Gordon kind of shrugs at that. He can do it already.
I can't believe how absolutely jaded y'all are at all these things. These are kind of amazing, to be honest.
By the way, Chris.
Are they?
Yes.
If I were to get a jeweler's kit, could I potentially craft the gems that we got into something more valuable?
It's not impossible. You would need somebody to do the metalworking, because the gems on their own are nice, but if you want to make money off it, it's got to make it into jewelry.
Looks over at Grotus.
Like, the gems are nice, but there's little that they can do on their own. A jeweler's kit is very much to the ensuring that the gems are of proper cuts and of well, I guess I should specify. A jeweler's kit is to make sure that you have the proper cuts and also ascertain the value of a gem. These gems were going to market. They were going, like, they had already been seen by a jeweler.
Okay.
So, like, with them, you couldn't really do much. If you find, like, raw gems, then yeah, the jeweler's kit can come into it and you can try to make cuts of them.
Yeah.
But if you want to make money from, like, already refined gems like this and already cut gems, it's pretty much jewelry.
Yeah,
or selling them straight.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, can I make them into, say, can I put them into a necklace or like a...
You could, yeah, 100% you could. You just need either to buy the necklace without the gem or have someone make it for you.
Got it.
How valuable are Moonstone and Citrine? That were
Not super valuable. They're gemstones, but they're kind of like bottom tier gemstones, you'd say.
fine.
Each one's probably worth about, like, a decent cut like these, probably around 25, 30 gold.
Pocket change.
In any case, we better bring the Manticore head back and see if we can get to the reward, see what we're all looking at here to possibly buy back our employer.
Will we still be able to sell the first one? The
Curtis kind of gives a... I highly doubt they're going to be thinking we killed it after it's been dead for what looks like weeks.
Well, we could say that we went to go fight another one, and that took a bit of time.
Are you saying that the fact that we've been on the job for 2 days, we did it 2 weeks ago?
I ain't sure if I want to get caught in a lie with those folks anyway.
You're supposed to be some sort of, heroic person, and you're trying to get more payday out of lying about killing a manticore?
Hey, there's no shame in trying to take an opportunity when you see one.
You kind of
It's
squints
more
his eyes
so-
and it's...
You're trying to sell damaged goods. That
No,
won't work
it's-
well.
I just
No.
mean that the fact that they are offering coin for, the killing of this creature, and it's already been killed, I didn't think it really mattered who did it, so long as we get the coin to save the person we're trying to save.
I wholeheartedly agree.
I wholeheartedly doubt they'll frickin' pay us for something we didn't do, but I suppose it doesn't hurt to ask. Hey, we found a dead body. Would you like to pay us for, coming across it?
Kind of tilts his head at that.
Why don't we burn that bridge when we get to it? I think we should start heading back now and discuss it on the way.
How much?
Simply a suggestion.
All I'm suggesting is we don't try to lie about it, because if we get caught in the lie, there's a chance they won't pay us at all.
If
Exactly.
anything, we could say that we still found the head and can still offer it up for a price regardless, even though we
Yes.
did not kill it.
It's
that's
pretty
what
much
he's trying to
decayed
get.
past. Oh, sorry. It's pretty much decayed past the point where someone could stuff it. Correct, Chris?
It's definitely on the brink. You get a sense that, I mean, if they're like, you might be able to lie your way into getting paid for it. You know, there are some people that don't know how quick stuff ages.
Wait, are they only looking for it as like a commodity sort of thing, or was it just to
You
get
have no
rid
idea.
of the... Oh.
They
thought-
wanted the Manticore God. You don't know what they want with the head.
Oh,
After a second head, we could take the chance and wait here, see if the other one returns.
Yeah, that was my mistake. I thought they were specifically looking for proof that it was killed because it's been a menace to the place.
They have. Well, they don't know it exists, right? That's the kind of issue with this argument. They don't know that there is a Manticore. They know that there's something forcing the goblins away.
argument is simply put that this thing has decayed to the point where we haven't been on the job long enough to have killed this thing and been weeks and then come back with the head. So it's like, we could lie, but it's probably going to get us caught because it doesn't add up.
Yeah, no. With that understanding, actually, then rewinding what Julia said, because that was under the assumption that it was like stated that it's just this thing has been bothering the town and it needed to be dead. I didn't realize it was potentially something else.
But they don't know that it exists.
Yeah, so rewind what Julia said then.
Gotta ask these questions beforehand.
I thought it was already stated.
Boy, Nikki, every time you make assumptions.
Can we just go turn in the quest?
Xavier actually, as I've been trying to get past for like the past fucking 10 minutes, he'll just kind of nudge Grotus a bit and kind of tilt his head in the direction of Moon.
Yes, fair enough. I get Moonstone.
Moonstone just looks at you.
You did really good out there, and I'd like to say I'm sorry I lost my temper and called you a cat.
And another thing,
What other thing?
you called him a pussy.
Yeah, a cat.
Called him a cat and that way.
A pussy is a fucking cat. What is wrong with all of you?
There's
It's like saying a
connotations
dog
behind
and calling a bitch. It's the same fucking thing.
Xavier kind of just like pats him twice on the back, but noticeably his hand is a little bit searing, just kind of like and he kind of gets like a little bit of a squint at him, just like, come on.
But fair, okay. I'm sorry I called you a pussy cat as well.
Sure, you guys can start heading back.
Wait, I want to hear Moonstone's fucking reaction.
No, like you guys are just talking and walking, kind of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I suppose Xavier will kind of follow up with, I talked to him about it, Moonstone, and he did regret what he said. He does not exactly have the best reputation as far as temper goes, and, well, I'm sure, as you've probably experienced before, temper can make us do all sorts of things that you can regret. This is his apology. I ain't apologizing for him. This was entirely his decision at the end of the day, but do consider it.
Does he seem sincere when he says he's sorry?
Yeah,
Or does
he seems sincere, though. He doesn't understand why the pussy and the cat needed separate connotations, because pussy means cat to him. It's like, I'm apologizing for the same word.
So in other words, he looks confused but genuine.
Yeah, he's confused. So why am I apologizing for the same word? What's a different word for the same thing? It's like, for him, that's confusing.
He doesn't know the lingo yet.
Well, he doesn't hang out with people, so he doesn't know the negative intonation of the word.
Gallo will explain later.
Just don't call me either of those again.
Fair enough. And he looks over at you and kind of lets out a sigh. I won't.
Where's that?
Xavier is Nah, that's not in his nature. He just kind of busts out into a full grin, his eyes twinkling just like a teeny bit. Well, and then he kind of like feels the rack of like the heat and kind of looks over back towards Gallo and was just, mind if I real quick just and he kind of walks over to him, places a hand on his shoulder, and just sucks the heat right back out of you.
He like feels that chill, and he's at first, because when you had gone to when you did the round of hugs with everybody, he had like flinched but stood still, and then again he just kind of stares at you from the sudden touch and the weirdness of it, and he gives you that intense stare of before when you guys when they first met, where he wants answers.
Yeah, no, it's just like you feel like the stiffness of like the left dexterity over your body, and you just yeah, sorry, it's I kind of have to concentrate a little bit on that, and moving and about it you don't. And again, he kind of like raises his hand, and you can see the crease lines of his palm are a little bit, well, actually, a decent bit reddened. Both hands, really.
You're burned again.
Yeah, just a little tinge.
Does that heal over quickly?
Yeah, I'd say my hands are kind of used to the scar tissue at this point.
He looks at them. Are his palms like pretty scarred and
Decently so? Yeah, his hands are not mangled per se, but definitely it has signs of this has regenerated a few couple hundred times.
are you still able to feel through that?
Sorta. Like, I mean, I can definitely feel it each and every single time I cast and whatnot. And especially afterwards, things are kind of a little numb, but otherwise, I don't think it bothers me too much.
Stare at him a bit longer, but seems to shrug it off for now. Well, regardless, thank you.
He kind of like smirks a little bit. It's just like, no problem. Good work out there, all y'all. And kind of looks back over towards Julius and kind of gets a mischievous grin. Is he not paying attention to the conversation?
Actually, I was gonna pull him off to the side.
Actually, that's funny, because Julius was gonna actually tap Moonstone's shoulder.
Okay, so I will let you guys have your conversation, but immediately after, I want to do something.
Alright, then Julius, like, jogs over to him and taps him on the shoulder with this, bright-eyed, like, curious look to his eyes, just like, Moonstone, why didn't you tell me that you casted more magic on my sword?
Huh?
Well, I know you did the flower thing, but, why didn't you tell me that you added more? Oh, did you want it to be a surprise?
Gives him a quirk. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you know, during the battle, you saw that, very, kind of like makes a face trying to find the right word, that particular hit that did a great deal of damage that I did. That was your doing, yes?
Well, I mean, I could do something kind of similar to that, but no, that was on you. All I did was give you a little effect of the petals.
Oh, wait. I did take the potion. It must have been that.
Nope, still not that. Listen, what you did was not my brand of magic. As much as I'd like to take credit for that, that was on you. And I'll give him a pat on the shoulder. You did good.
He looks confused.
Chris, do I know anything about, like, his brand of magic?
You could
Just being a
attempt with a
study.
religion check.
Oh boy, I'm good at those. Alright. I'm actually not bad.
An 18? Holy blessings are something known throughout the world. In terms of what you've seen, it seems to sit and turn with that.
Sounds like something out there believes in you just as much as some other people do.
Well, I mean, I'm used to, putting the holier magic into my swings if need be, but that was different, though. There was a precision to the blade and much more power behind the holier magic. So I figured that was your doing.
I mean, my potion gives you makes you a bit more accurate and resilient, but all truth and honesty, I can definitely tell that's more you.
He has a look on his face. He doesn't entirely believe it, but he just gives a small nod.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, what you described, you wouldn't know if it was you or not if your potion gave him better accuracy.
He can tell that it's a little, not a lot. There's definitely a different. He can recognize his brand of magic.
Well, there was no magic.
It doesn't do anything for power either.
Yeah, it just you get a little better at actually landing the hit. But anyway, no, that was all you. In all truth and honesty, as much as I'd like to take credit for it, because damn, that'd be very easy to sell. No, that's you.
Mm-hmm. He kind of rubs the back of his neck and looks down at the ground and will walk. I see. Anyway, he shakes his head and looks at you. You looked like you had something to say as well.
In a moment. I just want to say something. Do you believe in yourself? You seem to question yourself a lot.
Well, I suppose that question could have a number of different meanings. What in particular are you talking about?
Do you believe that you are capable at being an adventurer? You seem to have your doubts, even when you do well.
No, I mean, I'm Julie's born declare. There's only one of me in the world. I am destined for greatness.
I just gotta I'm pulling back a little further and just say, listen, they're not gonna hear you, and I don't give a shit where you came from. I just care about what you can do. You don't seem to have confidence in yourself. And I think you should. Not because of some name that you got, but because of the actions you just took.
Egan kind of just rubs the back of his neck more. No, honestly, in comparison, the lot of you are much more talented individuals.
I think you're selling yourself short. But I think that'll be for you to figure out. Because I don't think there's anything I can really say to change your mind, but you did well out there.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
Bit of a quirk comes to his lip at that, and he kind of gives a small nod of his. Alright.
Listen, the way I see it, you can say you did a bunch of shit, or you can say you didn't, but at the end of the day, facts are facts. You got a really nice hit on that thing. You did good.
Well, I honestly think it was actually. And he glances over towards crap, I'm blanking on her name.
Sickle.
Sickle, yeah.
Sickle.
Glances over towards where Sickle is. Well, I think most of that was just her.
Oh, don't get me wrong, she was a fucking badass, and God, yeah. Anyway. But, don't sell yourself short, you did well. It's important to have confidence, otherwise you're gonna keep stumbling when you really shouldn't.
Oh, no, I have plenty of confidence, of course.
Moonstone just cocks an eyebrow and that, like, really?
Shifty, I'd look away back at him, but nods his head.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright. Listen. You and I did not get off on a very good start.
We didn't?
No. We did not.
For furrow comes to his brow at that. Oh. I see.
You came off as very arrogant. You came off as someone who judges someone before you even get to know them. Personally, you straight up called me a cat. You doubted my ability to work with the horses because you, quote unquote, thought I was an animal, and you insulted my intelligence. You did not get off on a very good foot with me.
I actually had a bit of a talk with this with Xavier. I honestly did not. It was not my intent with either any of those times to come across that way, but intent or not, that is how it was read. And I do apologize for that. I did not mean for it to come off that way. I'm used to talking to certain types of people, and things work differently. I'm quickly realizing out here.
Listen, I need to make sure no one else is really listening. Listen, I know that things aren't exactly the best when it comes to what your family matters can really do to you. But you gotta make sure that now that you're out in the real world, you're seeing the world for what it is with your own eyes, not that of which your parents or whatever else has you that tried to put on you. It's important to figure out who you are, how you want to see the world, and how it looks to you. You are who you choose you are. Nothing more, nothing less.
I wish it were that simple. Kind of runs his hands through his hair for a moment and then glances back at him. Never mind all that, though. Again, you looked as if there was something on your mind.
No, I said my piece, but and he'll crack his neck and then say, "Besides, back to what you just said a second ago. Why isn't it as easy as that? Just ought to be someone else."
Repeat that?
He cracks his neck and says, "So, back to what you said a moment ago. Why is it not so easy just to be someone else?"
Be someone else?
Be the person you want to be, mate. Gives you a smile. It's not that hard, I promise you.
That's what I've been trying to do.
Well, if you want to be someone else, I guess the first step is to try to get away from the things that you don't like about the person you are now. Tell me, how often do you curse?
He glances around the area and then back at him with a worried look. You're not going to make me curse, are you?
If you don't want to, you don't have to. But think of it as a exercise in exploring the possibilities of the person you could be. I won't tell the others if you just want to say it quietly.
I know you have the right intentions, but it's not exactly the sort of person I want to be. I'm trying to be the sort that I want to be. And he looks down at his sword, being able to protect what needs to be protected and not feel fear. And not to say that I do, but not faltering.
Well, what you're gonna have to learn is that no one's perfect, and nothing ever works out perfectly. You're always going to find, even when things go well, small things you could have done better, but it's just important to know that failure is a part of learning and growing. That's all. I mean, hell, I wouldn't be in business if it wasn't.
He looks down at the ground again. Yes, no one is perfect, but I feel like everyone should at least try to be worth something. I'll say this is also when he gets called Xavier.
Yes. I need the both of you to make dex saves.
Oh
Okay.
no.
What the fuck are you on about?
Yes. So, before both of you even fucking realize, just an arm over both of your shoulders just slacks over as Xavier basically pounced towards you guys. It's just, hello, the two of
Oh dear.
What the fuck? I was in my ear.
Quickly
Alright.
attempts to study so that everyone doesn't go toppling.
Oh wait, did you just curse?
Huh?
Did you say oh fuck?
He said, oh dear.
Oh.
No, so Xavier just kind of like looks in between the both of y'all. Is just like, hey, that was actually some really nice fighting that you did over there. Hey, wait, hold on, and just kind of like looks over towards Julius. Now having let the both of you go, it's just, you didn't tell me you could create like some sort of like light with your sword. The hell?
You've seen him do it before.
Yeah, he kind of gives you a curious look.
No, he hasn't. Remember,
he
because
did
he was
it
hyper.
to Grotus.
To Grotus?
Yeah, our
Oh,
first
shit.
fight, he smoked Grotus.
Oh.
So you rescind that?
Rescind. Yes. Nah, y'all did really great. And oh man, it was just he just kind of like seems he very much charged into this conversation without thinking about what he was actually going to say first. Then before after like jumbling words for like a solid 5 seconds, he was just, so what so what were y'all talking about?
The uncomfortable look that had gone to a more sadder look kind of falters more into surprise at being tackled and then back to a bit of a quirk of the lip. Oh, number of things.
Oh, all right. I don't mean to pry, but yeah, no, y'all did really great. I just wanted to let y'all know that.
Thanks. You too.
Yeah, I mean, you now. Okay, so here's what I don't understand, right? Because I've seen the sort of like, you know, frosty fucking, I don't know, laser thing, but like you gotta do it weird because it comes out of like that weird fucking wrist thingy on your wrist. How did
You got out there for the last second. What'd you say?
how does that work?
Oh, that is a combination of arcane propulsion and alchemical reagents. So the way it works is, and Moonstone starts explaining it and basically starts going into how he more or less has a endothermic reaction take place within the bracer that is enhanced by the magic that he has enchanted the armor to have, along with the propulsion system that then fires it out at the desired location and starts
For the
going
for the sake of brevity, Xavier will nod at a lot of this stuff. He won't understand 90% of it, but yeah, I just wanted a nice transition into whatever we're going into.
Sure, as they're going though, I'd say Grotus would also walk up to Gallo quickly as they're walking back. And just kind of go up to Gallows and go, by the way there, Gallo, like to say there, good work there, sneaking up on the Manticore and releasing the rabbit. Kinda glitched the whole plan there. You're muted, Zaku, if you're trying to talk back.
Whoops. Thank you. Yeah, he looked up at him, and he nods with a sort of half shrug. I mean, sure, but the rest of you did just as much work.
Fair, but it wouldn't have worked out if you didn't go up ahead first. You had the most to lose if things went wrong, so... like to know I appreciate it. I probably would have tried it myself, but I knew it would have failed if I went up there.
Stare at him for a second, and it had come up before the last time he said it, but he thinks about Julius's words for a second, back at their first watch by the Red Horns, and after looking at him, then staring out, glances back at him. Oh, thank you.
Honestly,
So,
though. Oh, sorry.
No, continue.
Honestly, though, do you think there's any chance we're going to get enough gold to free Hellman from all this shit?
Looks at the Manicore head, or at least, are they holding on to it? Is Keswick's holding it?
Keswick's got it on like a backpack.
He just stares at it, then just it gives him a look, but because it does work, he doesn't say anything. And then looks back to Grotus. Well, I think you've known me by now. I tend to assume the worst first before the best. As it seems you do as well. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but I can't say.
I'm still worried that if we hand them all this gold over, they just take it and not give us back Hellman. Or they just kill us all and take the gold, honestly. We don't know what the fuck we're in for here.
I suppose it depends how much trouble Hellman is worth.
Hey.
But, all things considered, them being mercenaries, and I've done my fair share of work as well in that field, I'd say. As long as they're paid, and they have a position, it might work. However, because they are tied to the town, they might need a little more incentive. We'll see.
Fair enough. In any case, doesn't hurt to see what we got. If they keep refusing that they have them, I guess we just get the hell out of here, take our earnings, and continue on our way.
If anything, the head would still probably sell pretty well. Not that I know. He looks at Keswick's. Well, essentially this was your job. What do you know about it?
Oh, honestly, I have no idea.
So
I
you hunt
most
monsters.
likely would have done it for free if it came down to it.
He gives him a look that's confused. Like, both confused and, like, slightly disgusted.
Grotus gives an eye roll, and you can just see on his face the phrase, "God damn it, not another one."
Oh, there's its own value to be found in doing the right thing.
So, with all the effort and resources, time and energy, you're not looking for anything. Hello?
Dylan?
Dylan?
Not bad. I won't refuse compensation. It's not above me, or it's not below me. But I would have done it for free if necessary. That is the oath I took.
Well, fair enough. In any case, by the looks of things, this may not even end up being a payday if we have to end up giving it all up, but let's see what we got here.
If they don't give back Hellman with the head, we're not giving him the head.
I'm pretty sure it's not the head they're out. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. We're going back to the town to get the reward, correct?
Yeah, we're selling the head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not handing the head to the frickin' to the mercenaries. That's pointless.
Okay, yeah, we're getting the pay first, whatever platinum, and then
Exactly.
okay.
Then we'll go back with the lot and see whether work out without what we have. Because giving the head alone is pointless.
Okay, my information was mixed up. Resend.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Real
then.
quick, one last thing. Xavier walks over towards Grotus and kind of smacks him on the arm and says, "Hey, I have a question for you.
Sure, what is it, Xavier?
How come is it that you are able to grow, but and his face just kind of slowly grows red as he's just, never mind. I don't got a question anymore." And he just kind of starts walking and marching forward.
I'm just gonna say, Grotus scratches his head and goes, "What the hell was that about?"
No, Gallo is gonna try to yank him back. He wants to know what he was gonna say.
Contested grapple.
What is that? Athletics or?
Athletics
That's
versus
if you
acrobatics.
forfeit.
Athletics. You have to athletics though.
I do athletics. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yes. The skittish boy. It's like you reach out for him, but that staleness in your limbs is still there.
God, if anything, he will say just like, "Do you want me to ask him for you?"
No. Just drop it. Just drop it.
He just gives him a shit-eating grin. Hey, Grotus.
What? What the hell is it?
He wants to know.
Remember,
Does-
Taco, I told you about this before. Does Gallo actually connect the knot?
His face is red, and he said grow, and this guy is a fucking hoe. I can do an insight, though, if you want me to.
Preferably.
Yeah, that's fine. Shit. He doesn't know anything!
Well, there we have it.
I will say, though, if anything, Gala will also look at Sickle and just ask her. So, you stuck with us the entire time. You haven't asked about compensation. What are you here for?
Hellman.
Alright, and if our plan doesn't work,
Then I'll get him alone.
Shit, Grotus heard that.
Yeah, that kind of seems like with the favor she did us, that we might owe her something, Grotus.
Yeah, bloody hell, I kinda have to agree with you on that one. What are you planning to do if they don't give him back?
She just kind of turns and looks at you.
Ah, the forward approach, I get it. This is honestly how I would have liked to do things to start with.
why are you so set on that man?
My reasons are my own.
There is such a thing as loyalty.
Can Gallo try to incite her, just to maybe get an idea?
Sure, go ahead.
Not today!
Saying exactly what it is. She doesn't share her reasons. She has her reasons for following and working with Hellman.
Okay.
You don't
Keeps
know
an eye on
anything
that.
about her, though, so you wouldn't really be able to insight anything from it.
Grotus will just shrug. Everyone's got their reasons for doing things. No reason to pry. But if we can help you, we'll try to help you get Hellman out of this fails, I suppose.
We can try to, anyways, but
Wait,
as if the rest
Chris,
of the group agrees.
can you remind me, what did the, what was his name? What did the tiefling man say to me? Did he say, like, to not bother him anymore, like, as part of the thing?
No,
And he
just
said
that
you can't tell us.
you can't speak about him. You can't speak about Hellman and like what you know of him now.
Okay.
Essentially, just made it null from the curse he placed upon, or from the deal you made with him. He made it null that you could not essentially relay what you learned with him. And that was it.
But as a reminder, on top of that, Grotus and I still believe he was in there because we straight up tracked him to it.
Yeah, then there's no other explanation for what we saw.
Maybe if you guys got a better check, you would have found the right answer.
You know what, Chris? Maybe if you did better rolls for your monster, that would have lasted longer.
Asking for it.
I feel
Yeah.
like you like went through like a couple different things you could have said to me, and we're like, which one will be like fair? Which will be fair without repercussion?
So anyway, so we head back to town to sell the Manticore head.
Once again, you arrive within Teleburg. It's small. The small houses only made to make the massive inn look larger. Who do you go to try to sell the hut to? Or...
Well, we would look over at the person who was hired to do this. So.
Yeah, no. Since Delphus was the one that was bringing the job up to me, I guess. I'm not. We don't want to take the head because we want him to. We were gonna ask what the price is before we just gave it to him. So I will hand off the head and.
To a box of holding.
Yeah.
Takes a bit, but you managed to get it in there.
I love the fact that I just started the game with a bag of holding. It's such a useful item.
Yeah. I mean,
Best
at least
reason to be an
Moonstone's useful
artificer.
for something, right?
Oh.
Chris, that legitimately hurt deep.
I'm sorry.
You
Anyway.
just wait, alright? I get some downtime activity, I'll be useful. I'll make myself useful. I'm glad I have a character that's confident despite not being useful.
Welcome
So
to my
you
world.
want to try to sell it to the you want to go talk to Delphus about it?
Yeah, we gotta go get a price first. So
For sure.
I will take. Oh, unless everybody wants to. Oh yeah, because we put it in the box. Never mind. So yeah, we can all go.
Yeah.
For sure. You would know
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
that just briefly outside of town, you've seen it, where there's kind of like a pathway lined with trees on either side, eventually leads to what's known as Farstone Manor. You would know that is his home. Approach it at your leisure, or you could attempt to like try to talk to him through like the guard captain, like you did before, or the party did before. Like it's up to you.
We can do the guard captain first because we can mention we're here to talk to Deltas. They're plaguing the roads, and he might point us in the right direction.
Sure. Eventually find your way to the rather small guardhouse. Once again, entering in, you're allowed to see her. It's not like she's got like an office or anything. It's just a small ass guardhouse. You see Guard Captain Scytha once again, human woman, about 40 or 50 years old, because it's been a while since you guys have talked to her. She kind of looks up through what seems to be like a small set of spectacles as she goes through papers and can I help you lot with anything?
Kesexod here. Delphus Farstone in our conversation had mentioned something along the lines of slaying a particular nuisance along the roads, or that came from the forest. Do you think it'd be possible to speak to him, or know of whom we would speak to about that?
Well, officially, you'd speak to me through it. Matters of town defense are supposed to go through me. If you have information, I'll be happy to hear it.
No information. We are simply looking to take up the job. My companions here were wondering the rate at which it paid before they wasted their time with it.
Of course, I understand. Sadly, well, that would usually fall to guardhouses and that sort of thing. We ain't got funds to pay for that, but if Delphus is offering to pay for it, you would have to go through him. Sorry, money's tight as is. If he's willing to pay for it, it's just his own coin. Nothing wrong with it.
Then Delphus it as we see. Thank you for your time.
Of course. Wish you luck.
Do you know where he is at this time, or?
At this point of the day, the Manticore home was a bit far out. Probably about like mid-afternoon. She's like, well, does a lot of his work from his home, so I'd imagine there. Doesn't do much of public drinking, so probably find him in the manor.
Of course, thank you for your time.
If not, someone in the manor will know where he is.
Give her a little bow.
Of course, she returns the spectacles to her face, kind of goes back to working on the paper. you all kind of gather your things and kind of walk the tree-flanked road to what is a nice, modest manor. It is still this 2 to 3 story building. Windows and like clear, nicely kept, though there are signs of degradation, weirdly enough. The hedges and around look unkempt. There are signs of a bit of kind of wear and tear on the wood. You do see there is a large kind of like this, you'd assume to be like a family crest. It's this large kind of almost, it's a diamond with almost like spherical lines, if that makes sense. Instead of being like straight lined, it's like small spherical lines, but still ends in a point.
Yep.
Then surrounding it is the common insignia of which you would see what is usually in reference to noble houses out of Vildervale, which is a simple kind of, it's almost like a wheat pattern that kind of swings around the...
Hey, guys, before we head in, pull him to the side.
What is it?
This is a good opportunity since we'll be in his house to maybe find evidence of his wrongdoing and he's really behind Hammond's disappearance.
I suppose it's possible, but if he's completely innocent and we just start snooping around his house, then...
Too much of a risk, in my opinion.
I believe the best course of solution would be to ask about it and then see what our observant friend over here, and I'll gesture towards Gallo, can gather from that.
Mm-hmm.
He raises a brow at that, and he says, "No guarantees, but I could try."
I mean, unless someone knows how to make someone disappear, it's probably our better bet. I don't really want someone sneaking around the house.
And sneaking didn't go over great last time.
Or we
might.
could simply ask for a tour.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's gonna be a little hard of this help.
I mean, we ain't exactly tourists. But, I don't know. I don't think, as far as the mystery with that man goes, there's kind of way too many loose ends for us to possibly look into it. I mean, I think we should just get this job done and get the hell out of here, really.
I agree, honestly.
Oh, we might want to leave the sickle behind.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Sickle might be a bit of a...
I will give Sickle the last of my coin. Go have a drink on me.
Sickle, will you be okay by yourself around here?
She kind of just like looks to you. Is there something here that would be a threat to me?
Nothing.
Voices, but none of them are really setting.
A threat
No.
you are getting of Hellman back, possibly.
He visibly voice cracked and stepped back instinctually. Just, no, you're fine. I was just wondering if you wanted company. And he just stops talking.
She'll kind of like look to the coin, kind of pick up the few pieces, and then kind of walk back to Teleburg.
By the way, as soon as she says, "Is anything here a threat to me?" Moonstone just kind of leans over to Gallo and just be like, "Damn."
He looks over to him and just like, so that's your type.
What? Hell, I'm just like, she just ripped him a new one with just one sentence. That was impressive.
Not for Xavier, it isn't.
I've seen you look in her direction. I think you like her.
No. No, it's not me.
If you say so.
Julius taps your shoulder, Xavier, by the way, giving you a kind of curious...
He immediately jumps and looks towards you before. Oh, hey, Julie.
Is there a reason you're so skittish around her?
Other than the fact that how tall is she, Chris?
She's a bit over 7.
A bit over what?
She is massive for lizard folk. Usually
feet.
they're above 6 feet. She's 7 foot.
Yeah, so not only is she kind of, a whole foot taller than me, but when I was about to get, chomped by that warg back at the camp, she kind of,
I don't know, wrestled the thing directly off of me and I think bit into its neck. I ain't kind of washed that image out of my mind since.
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong, you're nervous around her because she saved you?
Because she's fucking scary!
I mean,
He glances over towards her, and then back at him with a curious look as he glances over towards Grotus. Is just like, I mean, on the battlefield, Grotus gets much bigger.
Yeah, but he's like friendly and
You know what? When you shout that phrase out, Grotus looks over at you and goes, "She's not really that scary."
yeah, you're not. You're
Huh?
So there's nothing. So she's not that much different, right?
nah, not really. Because I mean, every single time she kind of looks over towards, her kind of pupils kind of look slit, and I feel like I'm being, I don't know, measured up or something. It's he just kind of seems like really nervous.
Julius rests a hand on his shoulder and gives this grin, like he's proud of something he's about to say, and is just like, "That is just a part of who she is. Her physical appearance, she cannot."
I feel like Xavier kind of like takes a moment and is just like to like think about what exactly he's saying. And after like I think a minute or so, his face kind of straightens up a little bit from being a complete and utter mess to kind of like getting where he's coming from. And he's just, yeah. I'm just saying that within other people, some people are just downright terrifying. And
So, basically, what you said is correct, Julius. Good job. But what he's trying to get at is that some people's force of presence can be intimidating. I would disagree with you on that one in this particular case, but he kind of pulls Xavier along, starts pushing him towards the door. He's like, all right, but Crocodile Dundee and I have to go sell ahead now, along with the rest of you.
what does that mean? But he's also like, he also has this very confused look on his face still, though, I should mention, but other than that.
As he's getting pushed out, Julius just gives a thumbs up. It's just like, I know that you can as well.
He kind of, he's confused. Look, he wasn't looking at him at first, but he kind of like gives a thumbs up as he's still being shoved away by Moonstone.
So how's the party splitting?
It's just Sickle wandering off. We're going to sell the house.
Okay.
Yeah, Sickle's just leaving. We're all heading back in to go see what's going on here with the...
As you approach the Farstern Manor, whoever wishes to can take the lead and knock upon the door.
Xavier will.
Sure. You.
Yala's gonna stay in the back.
Grotus will too, despite towering over.
You knock for a
I'll
moment.
be in the middle with Kessex.
There is a bit of a pause, but eventually the door is answered by a younger halfling woman. She goes, "Good day to you, sirs. How can we help you?"
Words. What time of day is it?
It's like mid-afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Yeah, we just have a little bit of business to do. As far as is the head out?
No, you guys have it in the toolbox.
We just have a little bit of I suppose a bit of a business to do concerning, what do you even call this? And kind of turns to the others like, it's like a bounty?
We'll call it a job.
Yeah. Job. Yeah. I forgot his name.
Delphus.
Is Delphus here?
Master Farstone is here. He was just about to sit down for a meal. But I can see if he's free.
Oh yes, please. Thank you so much.
Of course. Please just wait on the step. She
Alright.
kind of closes the door. You wait maybe a few minutes or two before she once again answers the door. It's like, he'll see you before his meal. You don't mind entering?
Oh yeah. Do we have to like take our shoes off or something?
It would mean less work for me. So yes, please.
All right. And he'll go ahead and kick off his boots.
Kessex has a lot of laces on his boots. This is gonna take a minute.
For
Gallo
sure,
has
you
to
all wait
unbuckle
the
his
hour
boots.
that it takes Kessex to undo the knots that he Boy Scout can.
Moonstone just pushes a button near his knee, and it just like the whole thing just kind of goes like, boom, 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 and just like undoes, and it just takes them off and neatly puts them by the door.
Yeah, I was gonna say if any boots and shoes are flown about, kicked off, Gallo will kind of neatly put them all into rows.
Sure.
Xavier looks towards Kessex. I could just like burn them off if you want.
I like these boots. They're well fitted to me. The laces are important.
To what?
The proper footing is something a good swordsman must have, and I'd hate to fucking slip on my shoe.
I mean, have you ever gotten like caught on the shoe? Because otherwise, that means you're just gonna get dragged along with whatever's grabbing. It's happened to me once. Big fish.
I'm used to getting beat up. It's fine.
Kind of tilts his head. Is just kind of looks up at his hands. Is just, you know what? I guess so am I. Alrighty. And he'll kind of pay attention back over towards the door seal, and after taking off his boots, he'll kind of move the dirt and whatnot. But yeah.
Following the halfling woman as she kind of leads you, the whole house has that same kind of air to the outside. It is nice, recently built, but there is an air of not a ton of work to upkeep it recently. It is, however, maintained enough, and as she kind of leads you through the home, eventually you find yourself to a dining room, in which you can see there are a number of tables set. Looking to the end of it, you see not one Delphis, but two. And it takes you a moment, but looking to the second dwarf, not sitting at the head of the table, you notice that instead of that heavy mutton chops into like a chin, like into like a small chin beard that Delphis has, he doesn't have the beard at all. It's just the mutton chops. You kind of, the woman looks to the two of them and is like, the individuals who requested to see you, Master Farstone. Delphis, you gotta hear, yes, I remember you, Kessex. I vaguely remember the other ones.
Well, it's a pleasure to see you again. We had finished our work that they needed as well, and we were looking to get started on your men.
Well, I'm glad to hear. Defense of the town has been something we've had to get a lot more involved in recently. So, any help we can in ensuring these creatures outside our borders ain't threatening our people is best. Did you have a preference? There are a few issues around.
I believe we heard rumors of some monstrous beasts along the roads.
I'd heard as well. The Redhorns were nice enough to inform us that they believed the goblins were being forced onto the roads by something meaner and nastier. I'm afraid for other information, though, you'd be looking for that one blind.
Out of curiosity, if the problem were to be handled, what would the rate of pay be?
He kind of, like, reaches a hand up to his head, kind of scratches that like, long... he's got, like, a pretty long head of hair as well that kind of matches with his beard, and he's like, that's hard to judge if I don't know what we're dealing with. I suppose I'd say... something.
You cut out for me. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Oh, he kind of like thinks about it for a moment before looking back to you and says, "Do you know something about it? What's driving the?"
Well, tracks we had found had indicated, tracks and signs of it when we had ventured out into the forest. It indicated it might possibly be a manticore.
Manticore. He kind of turns the other door. He's like, "What the hell's a manticore?" The other one. It's like a big cat with bat wings.
See, that's what I'm saying. Fucking weird, right?
Hey, man.
He kind of like looks back after talking with the other dwarf, and he's well,
That's not quite the extent of it. They also possess a keen intelligence, not unlike yourself.
And they shoot thorns from their tails. It's crazy.
He looks to you, he's like, mentioned the keen intelligence. There's like a part of him that's like, he's not sure if that was an insult to him, but he's gonna give you the benefit.
Oh, I said it very friendly, like it was very much meant to be a compliment.
Yeah, but compared to the bat, like, he kind of looks to you. Well, I suppose. What would you say? He kind of turns to the other dwarf. The other dwarf's like, I suppose if such a creature were the issue, I mean, even if it isn't, getting one of those things dead around our borders, we could probably spare about 150.
150.
Aye, you're talking to the second dwarf now, by the way. He's like, I'd be willing to give you 150 a head of one of these things. I've seen it before, though. Don't try to pull one over on me.
100. I am a foreigner to these lands. 150 gold or platinum.
He kind of gives you a look like he feels like this was a bad attempt at a joke before correcting. Gold.
Ah, okay. So, out of character, we're not getting Hellman back this way. Would it be possible? I've spent some time with this crew, and I believe them quite capable. Would you be willing to pay twice that if we could have it done today?
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh, no,
Also, is this a good price?
I was gonna hop in.
Xavier will lean over to the.
Sorry, but that
person.
point is where the persuasion check will come in. So
Xavier will lean over towards, I guess, Gallo, and what's platinum?
He looks at him.
Oh, so Kirsten just goes, "Oh, honey, no."
a 15. He kind of thinks about it. Kind of turns to Delphus, and it's like, twice the price on quick work does seem a bit much. Delphus kind of, I suppose if you were... kind of thinks on it. I'll tell you what. I'll take the lead on this one. He kind of... You're talking to Delphus again, and he's like, I'll give you an extra 50 gold in the hopes of good nature, and that you may be willing to deal with other problems around town as well.
Other problems like what? The missing Hellman.
Aye, that is
Insight.
one, though. What are you trying to incite?
I'm trying to see if that catches him as anything, like it's a surprise that
Sure.
we're still looking into it or anything like that. You know, like he seems off guard from it.
Sure. Well, you talked to him before about this.
Yeah.
This is the guy that's offering to pay you to find him.
Yeah, I
There-
know.
The guy who mentioned that he had seen the manticore, seen a manticore before, did it seem like he was telling the truth?
You can roll an insight check on his knowledge of manticore lore.
Chris, I
Yeah.
also did ask if that was like a fair price for that kind of work. I don't.
Yeah, for manticores, from what you've heard, you probably faced ones that were pretty well grown. Like, they were pretty strong for a manticore. He's offered a pretty fair price for it.
Okay.
Julius, you get a sense that, yeah, this other dwarf probably knew what he was talking about. He probably had heard of these. Kessex, there's not a stop in his step. He
Yep.
seems completely honest with you.
Also, can I say, Gallo, at Xavier's question, leans over and whispers back to him. So, as far as you know, then gold is the highest currency. Well, there's one above that.
Yeah, super. What?
Mm.
Like,
Just
by how
looks-
much?
What is it? 10 gold is 1 platinum?
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything's in
Yeah.
increments of tens.
Alright, cool.
Besides
Yeah,
Electro-
just
on Electro.
Maybe
he'll
discussing
explain.
that we don't know what money is right now might
Yes,
not
that's
be
a
the
bit
best.
odd.
Yeah.
No,
So-
Xavier
But,
was guys, Xavier was
Guys,
whispering
okay, let's-
They were
we're
whispering,
gonna-
and
Yeah, guys,
in front of
guys.
the
Guys,
there was
We're gonna just do what we're talking with Delphus right now.
yeah. That's what I wanted to mention though. Is
We'll
just
just go right to Delphis. Sorry, I am
Okay.
trying to
No,
get
it's
through
fine.
this. You guys can have your role play afterwards.
Okay, but he had a question for the other guy, but okay.
Of course, you can ask a question. Like, so long as you're in this conversation and not trying to have a conversation amongst yourselves in front of them,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he just had a quick question for the other guy, because we know who Delphus is, but he looks over. Excuse me, but I don't think we've had the pleasure of meeting before.
He kind of looks up to you, he's got a sterner stare, a bit more crude of a stare than Delphus does. Delphus, who appears a very chipper and well-mannered person. The other one kind of speaks up. Marthas Farstone.
Marthas.
Delphus, kind of like, aye, that would be my little brother.
Ah, I see. Well, pleasure to meet you. That's all I needed to know.
And
he looks at Keswick's and the others to continue.
But yeah, Delphus continues like, as I was saying, Hellman, of course, is our utmost concern right now. Unfortunately, there are other issues the mines have other than not being able to work in them to the disappearance of the owner. One of our mines, a silver mine, one of its pathways we had to shut down recently after the corpse of one of our miners had been found in it. Fresh and very clearly not crushed. We fear the worst within it.
Out of curiosity, back to Hellman. So, we got like what, 5 more days to find him, for him to turn up to get, claim his mine. But then you become the owner after some legal business if he doesn't show up.
Sort of. Teleburg is well, we're not a city that brings in a ton of cash. A town that brings in a ton of gold. Keeping a mine shut down, especially a salt mine, while the locals are all worried about war in the north, it's not something we can really handle. I guess you could say that loss in profit and work. If he doesn't arrive within the time needed to justify his case of how he acquired the salt mine, then we will have to bring the case to Teleburg, in which it will be, well, unless he's there to fight it, it would fall to me. I would be required to sign contract, though, to, should Hellman prove later his ownership of the mine, I would have to repay for it to him.
So it's actually probably not good if he were to not show up on time and then come back later to get his property back then.
I mean, it's better than him not showing up at all. I would not steal from a man who has received it through honest means, but I will admit there is some... I mean no disrespect to your employer. I do not know this Hellman man, and with the matter of the old owner's death and then the exquisitely fast acquisition of the mine by Hellman, there is just some... I, and a few others, do not feel it was done by honest means.
Can I insight that when he says he's not going to steal from a man and that he legitimately doesn't think that Hellman honestly got the mine?
For sure, roll an insight check.
Actually, can I insight too?
I'll let 2 people do it, sure.
Can I, would it be
2
possible
people do
for
it.
me to insight the brother?
Oh, okay, sure. I'll say that's a separate one. 14? 5?
Mother,
Nice.
wow.
Yeah, unfortunately, those are a lot of low rolls. Julius and Moonstone, you get a sense that he's speaking honest enough. He's a man that doesn't believe that he's a man that's believing what he's saying, that there is something odd about how Hellman acquired the mine. And you imagine that this is he's not being fictitious with this claim of his. Gallo looking to the other one's just waiting for his food.
Alright.
It would be better if he showed up. We have our reservations about how he acquired the mine, but if it is by honest means, I am more than willing to reimburse him if he does not return in time.
And out of curiosity, what do you think he got the mines, like, illegitimately? Like, obviously he got it quickly, but...
He kind of thinks, like, I'm not sure exactly how much I'm allowed to say. The previous owner, of course, had children in which his will prescribed to leave practically everything he owned to them. They were quick to sell it off, but upon the will, it was seen to be a hasty addendum that the other mine, well, this salt mine, would be sold to Hellman at the moment of the passing of the old owner. It was a strange addendum, and it was not something made known to anyone. Not the workers, not the mine managers. It was out of the blue. It had never been spoken about. No one had ever even heard of Hellman till that point. The children didn't seem to know who Hellman was either. We unfortunately can't ask them now either. They've left the town. Hell, I think they've left the Farolands.
Just out of curiosity, what was the name of the owner originally?
The previous owner was a Morgan Redison.
Redison?
Redison.
Okay, thank you.
The business rival of mine, you could call it. He was here before me, found himself opening the first mines found his father's mother was the first one to open the mines that got this town to exist in the first place. Me and my brother came by about 30, 40 years ago when he was just a lad, grabbed the rest of the mines, and since then, we've been vying against each other on wages, prices of metals, things like that. The other mines, I mean, Morgan's son and daughter had no intention of following the family business. Hell, I doubt they'd know which side of a pickaxe to swing. So, when they were handed the properties, they put them all up for auction. Naturally, there was no one in Teleburg to really forward them enough coin. So, I bought them. It was just that one that was odd. Mind you, and again, I am not speaking ill of your employer.
Oh no, like...
No, I just want to clarify, since you are outsiders. When I say that I feel that there was unjust intervention, or this addendum may not have been made as of Morgan's free will, I am not insinuating that your employer had anything to do with his passing. The man was not healthy.
Oh, no, I'm not... Listen, if something's odd, you're free to speak your mind. I don't particularly care one way or the other. I was just curious.
Of course. I didn't want confusion. As I said, I barely know this man as is. I don't want to be making other folk think he's a murderer.
Fair enough.
Does he seem to think that he might actually be?
Roll an insight check.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
I'll let two people like usual. 8 and 9, you guys are not getting... It's all these low
Insights aren't bad today.
I'm
Ooh.
moving green.
Xavier's
You get a
busy
sense that
rubbing
he
his
doesn't-
spots on the floor.
You get a sense that he doesn't hold Hellman in a high regard, but you also get a sense he doesn't think he was a murderer. Like, this seems like a man that he probably knew the Redison family very well. You get a sense he probably would have had a general understanding of their condition, of the condition of Morgan, before his passing.
Well, in any case, sir, you said you had a business for us for this Manticore here. I suppose we should take care of it right away so we can get paid then, everyone.
So, what'd you say? 250 for it today, or...?
200 for it.
200. And before we handle that, what would it pay to get your mine open within the next day or two?
He kind of thinks, again, it's hard. I don't know what's blocking it. But I would honestly prefer the mines open than the Manticore. I suppose if ensure that my silver mine is producing all it can, I'd be willing to pay... I'll cut it at the same as the Manticore, 200.
Grotus looks over at Xavier, thinking, and whether or not I'm right or not, this thinking that if we do both jobs, maybe, just maybe, this is enough money to get him out.
Yeah, you get a sense he's saying 200. Like, the Manticore, they knew something big was causing it. It's only one person that's died in the silver mine. Like, it could be a goblin, for all they know.
Grotus will nod at Xavier and goes, well, I think that answers our questions. I think we better go out and get that Manticore hunt done right away then, eh, everybody?
Right.
Xavier was rubbing his socks on the floor, but he kind of feels like he's being looked at and looks over towards Grotus. And it takes him a second, but he gets it. And then he kind of looks towards... Yeah, should we be going now?
Yeah. Oh, but we did come across those goblins, right? That they had some things of value that I believe, and I gesture to Delphus. I just say that you may be interested in.
That would heavily depend on what it is. Goblins have been known to be raiding caravans coming into town and out of town. Well, at least until we hired additional security for it. Yeah, I suppose it would depend on what it is.
How about this? And I'll put down the ruby dice.
Oh, I wanted those.
Kind of looks, it's like, I'm sorry to say, lad, they're very nice, but I am not in the market for a thing like this. He kind of turns to his brother, and his brother kind of looks, and it's like, they are nice, but I'd also have to refuse.
Very well. I'll pick it back up.
He kind of looks, I was like, I am sorry, I imagine, I've got an eye for stone and gem, as all dwarves do. I imagine they'll fetch a nice price, but me and my brother are not in a frivolous spending.
I'll just say, in Dwarvish, I'll say, very well. I understand such things are not necessarily always practical, but I respect your decision.
Kind of gives you a nod.
Well, I suppose that takes care of everything, everybody. Let's go get the Manticore done then, and get the payday.
Yep. No, you got a bad insight. As it just keeps saying, like, let's go get the Manticore. Like, no, you got a bad insight. Do what you're doing.
Alright, so I guess we're gonna go have a bit of a rest and then come back with a Manticore head, right?
Yeah, that's what Grotus was thinking, because I think it's a little bit of a, hey, we have the Manticore, it's a bit too dickish of a move, let's make it look like we actually went out and hunted the thing.
I mean, it's up to you guys.
Well, I agree with that.
Yeah, let's go.
Especially since he already thinks I was trying to insult him.
Yeah.
He's not sure. He's not sure if you were.
Yeah, I think it's easier if we just go back to the end, take a short rest, and catch up Sickle with everything we've discovered.
Okay.
You mean absolutely nothing?
Well, that they'll let him come back at the very least.
Yeah, that we at least seems that, from what I think we discovered, is I don't think they are the people that hired him, based off what Grotus was hearing.
I'm kind of in agreement with you now, especially with my insight.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, right.
Well, you guys know, like, when you say hired, like, they are the people that are hiring the Red Horns.
Yeah,
like,
but we don't think
their
it was.
pay.
We don't think they were they hired the Red Horn specifically to kidnap.
Oh, I get you.
That's what I mean. It's like we don't think they're responsible for the kidnapping at this point, given what they've said and their in the insights. Grows like I don't think they are responsible because he was doubtful that they were in the first place, but after the discussion, he's like, I don't think they really are. I think there's something more at play here we're not aware of.
For sure.
Fuck, is it that stone lady? Oh god, what was her name?
Stonely.
From the one town.
God, man, there could be so many different things. At this point, Cross is like, we might as well not guess. It could be a player we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I'm more interested as a monster in the mines now.
Yeah, Grotus is more interested in getting more pay if we're going to try that pull this off. So Grotus, as we get back to the end with Sickle, sure. Grotus will say with the party, goes, well, in my honest opinion, this is not nearly enough gold to get him out, but maybe if we get the extra 200 from the mine, and any other jobs we can get done in the next couple of days, maybe, just maybe, we can gather enough coin.
I thought you just wanted to take your coin and bounce.
He looks over at Sickle. Look, I'm not against saving Hellman, if we can. But here's the thing. I'm expecting something out of it from Hellman himself. I'm imagining the man owns a mine. He could probably get us back, let's say, after the end of all this, after some time. Consider it an investment.
Would be nice.
But
He's quite the talented artificer. He's done a lot of impressive work. I'm sure he could pay us back at some point.
Hey, you think he might have some of that platinum for us?
Grodus just slaps his head and takes out one of the platinum coins we got and hands it to you. This is a platinum, lad. You've literally never seen one before, Xavier.
Wait. What? What? He's just flabbergasted. It looks just no. It's a little bit shinier than silver. Wow. Is it as hard? And he kind of like tries to bend it, and he's like, nope. It's pretty hard.
Grodus is half tempted to bend it for him, but he's not going to, because that would be a waste of a coin.
Julius has just like an amused quirk to his lip as he kind of thinks to himself, that was my reaction when I saw copper for the first time.
Yeah, guys, Xavier's not only ignorant, but he's also poor, so...
Grodus admittedly hasn't seen many platinum pieces, but he's worked in platinum in the forge.
Yeah.
Nice.
I can definitely tell you Moonstone has seen plenty of platinum.
Xavier fucking hasn't.
So as we're sitting down taking our short rest, I would like to again work on my designs for the wrist launcher.
Okay.
I think we can afford to take a long rest, by the way.
Well, we gotta give to the guy the head first, so we gotta.
Yeah,
make-
basically
Well,
we're taking the short break. We're waiting
okay,
a couple hours, and then we're going to go give him the head, saying we found the thing nearby, killed it, and brought it in.
Sure. Yeah, once again, roll a medicine check if you're still trying to work on the wrist launcher.
Medicine. I'll get it eventually, but not today.
Yeah, I'm not saying let's go down
Not
to the mine
today.
right now.
I'm sorry, man. It's a difficult design to work on, too. Like, there are things you might not know about that could aid you later. It's a difficult thing to work on.
Is it at the very least just continuously working on this, like lowering the DC?
Actually-
slowly?
It's very slowly, but yes.
Chris, to
So
be
let's-
fair... Oh,
well-
sorry.
I was just gonna ask, what's the DC now?
I'm not telling you yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris, would it be possible with this 2-hour rest, if I don't bother... Because I don't need a short rest, if we're just going to take a long rest after. Could Grodus start
Sure.
making some of those spears into javelins, since they're a similar... giving his blacksmithing tool set?
Sure. You would know that primarily, like, you're mostly just would be... Yeah, I'll say so. I'll say, for the sake of it, how many are you looking to change?
As many as I can, you'll allow me to do in 2 hours.
How many do you have?
I have a shit ton. I have 4 spears, actually.
4 spears? Okay. I will say, roll me a... We'll say it's a dex check with proficiency.
Oh, goody.
I grew with it just for the hell of it. You just have to be short.
It is. Well, you have to make it shorter, you have to get rid of the tip of it, and you have to ensure that it's still well balanced.
No, I was just saying for fun facts. I wasn't trying to change any of what you're doing.
So yeah, just roll a blacksmithing check. We'll say for every dex with proficiency. We'll say for every 5 points, you like for every 5 points, you get 1 changed right, and then 1 if you don't get hit like a 20, then 1 or 2 might be wasted.
Okay, well, let's see
Like
what I
just
can
that-
get with my +1 to this.
10.
10, so I get 2.
10. You get 2 of them. There's the first one you do. There's you kind of realize it that the spear had higher a lower grip, and so you kind of just don't balance it correctly, and then it gets too short to kind of work on. The second one, it's just a shoddy spear, and it kind of breaks as you try to carve it down. But 2 others you managed to do.
So I get 2 out of 4 to turn javelins, okay.
So, for sake of simplicity, should we just say we found somewhere where we can just, like, kind of exchange our coins just into gold so we can divvy it up quickly and evenly?
Sure. Just tell me what you're looking to sell. For the most part, Teleburg will buy a lot of common materials.
Oh, no, not the sell, just, like, the gold coins we already have so we don't have to split them annoyingly.
Currency exchange.
Yeah,
Oh.
basically.
Sure, whatever.
Okay. Everyone gets 23 gold and 8 silver.
And then, like I said, Grotus, you can have 10 of mine.
Yeah, I already added that.
Okay.
Also, while they're just kind of hanging out, and Gallo's just sitting back on a chair, arms crossed, legs crossed, and like his knee resting on a table, quirks a brow. Is it a good idea to stay here while we're waiting? Wouldn't they know that we've just stayed in town most of the time if they really looked into it?
I'm sure
I mean, doesn't really matter. All they find out is that we were a little bit dickish about the whole thing and had the thing killed beforehand. Doesn't really change the fact we killed them.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't think they really care all that much.
Probably
Yeah, I think
not.
they just want the problem gone.
So I
Just
just
checking
it would
for
have been
insurance.
shitty just to been like, bam, here it is. Thanks for the extra money.
Yeah, that's it. It was just, you know what? These people don't really deserve us to shit on them, and Grotus does respect dwarves by nature, so it's like, I don't really want to be a dick to dwarves.
Yeah, they just more like, we're just gonna hang here for a couple hours, and then just kind of, not even going into the woods and coming back, just popping
Both
in
are
and
kind
out.
of dickish, but yeah, depends on how they view it.
One is less dickish.
Yeah, and
arguable.
I mean, the other one is like they would actually have to physically go and say, "Hey, did these guys go in the hood and hunt the Metacore?" And they would just sink their like, why would they even bother looking into this?
Okay, yeah, he's just asking for insurance and
Yeah.
just kind of like, whatever, but,
Math is like walking around town, just like sees you all just chilling in the in the Shaft's respite.
Yeah.
Could I?
walks in like, you.
Alright, so... Do you guys just want to, while we're waiting, just kind of sell some of the crap we got?
I would like to keep the dice if nobody has any objection to that.
I'm fine with that.
That's a
Yep,
lot of
all
gold,
good.
but,
So you owe me an inspiration.
Again, is this
Slides-
Keswick or
slide-
Dylan asking
No,
for
that
the
was
dice?
Dylan.
Yeah,
Alright,
fuck you,
Dylan
Dylan.
went, no. Keswick
Fine.
is asking for the dice.
Fines! And someone go like, yeah, you know what? You did a really good job. Hand you the dice.
I like him. This is the blood dice and the blood hunter.
Why are you giving Dylan things?
Because so he'll stop bothering me about the inspiration I wasted.
No, fuck him!
See, that was a poor decision because I'm still gonna bother you about it.
And then
Giving a wild animal food to go away.
What's wrong with giving me the dice, though? Out of curiosity.
Say again?
What's wrong with? I'm asking Judo. What's wrong with giving me the dice?
Money.
Oh, you can have my share of
Money.
the cuts. I don't give a shit.
Money.
Take my share of the cut. I'll take the 80 out of it.
We didn't get
Too late
80.
now.
He said it was 80 for the dice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The crime has been committed.
What
in
am I
any
talking
case,
about?
guys, it's not enough to like end of the world for the 80 golds. We got lots of
I
other
want-
things to sell.
Money.
That was actually one of our high sellers. So the 2 barrels of ale/beer and the 1 barrel of the really nice wine. Can we sell that to the bar?
You can for the most part. They'll definitely buy all of it. For the 2 cat, 5 gold each, and then for the Rickards Red, you would get.
Oh, Grotus wants his Rickards Red though.
She'd be willing to buy because you've got like a cask of it, like a large cask of Rickards Red, which would go at probably a cask, not a bottle. So I'd say 35.
All right.
See, like the wine and the booze and stuff, it's pretty decent too. So 35 gold for all that.
Would I
For-
keep the gold cloth?
Yeah.
Grotus shrugs.
Go ahead.
Julius, with a grin on his face, takes the gold cloth. Handkerchief, I mean.
Sure.
His golden emerald boogies on his golden cloth.
Wait, it's not used, is it?
No.
I will. Okay, so I will try to sell the other one.
Sure. For the sake of this, just roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion. I'm great at these.
22, yeah. Also, you managed to sell it for 30 gold.
Alright, so that's 30 gold there. I would like to find someone who would buy the wizards, like the enchanted ink and paper.
There really isn't anyone in Teleburg. Teleburg doesn't even have a mage, right?
Yeah, so
You'd have to go
interested.
for... Yeah, you'd have to go to Vildervale or like somewhere that's not a town of 50 people and 100 miners.
Alright. I was just, maybe someone was like a passing merchant or something like that.
Nope, those are still getting sacked by goblins, so...
Fair enough. Does anyone want bloodroot herb? I got 25 gold worth of that.
Well, bloodroot can be used if you are an alchemist or a herbalist to attempt to make a healing potion.
Would it probably just be more valuable to try that then? Because let's be honest, we could always use more healing potions.
By the way, who took the healing? You put that in the bag, you said, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, did I not put that in the bag?
I'm assuming you put everything in the bag.
Wait, you guys can't see the bag, can you?
No,
Yeah,
we can't.
Oh, I thought I made it so you could.
No, we can't see the bag.
My bad.
It's fine. No one. Well, I got some sensitive stuff in there, so.
Okay, I won't make it public then.
Sorry.
It's good. That does not affect me.
Alright. Could I... How long... Being an alchemist, would I know how difficult it is to work with this material to make a healing potion, or no?
It's not terrible. It takes a bit of time. To give an idea, you would know this is a DC 12, DC 15 alchemy, which would be intelligence plus your proficiency. Just to create one of these. 25 is enough to make one.
Alright. In that case, I would like to attempt it.
Go for it. It's,
An assist?
it takes about an hour. Do you have proficiency in alchemy tools?
I do.
I will say sure. You can assist then.
Dylan, we're nerding out! Just be like, hey, can you hand me the sulfur and the dioxide chloride and...
So there is actually a process to it if you want to hear it. Primarily, aside from the 25 gold and alcohol, you need 25 gold and bloodroot, you need an alcoholic base, and it's a specific temperature. The alcohol must be brought to a near boiling point as the bloodroot ground, milled, and then added. It must be kept for 1 hour, in which the bloodroot will properly seep and mix. If it is left too cold, the bloodroot will not properly mix and its essence will be lost. If it is too hot, it will burn away.
Alright.
Fair enough.
Okay. Yeah.
So, at advantage?
Yep, at advantage. You just need to hit 15.
Alright.
23, easy enough. Or 18, easy enough. Yeah, you managed to craft one healing potion. You made it out of a ale cask. I don't know. Whatever you put it in, you can choose.
Probably my armor.
Sure.
Alright. I give Kessis a big high five and just say, nice!
Yeah, good job, Moonstone.
Well, we're at the...
Skill.
Oh, sorry.
You're quite skilled at this.
Grotus would also like to buy, like, a jug of, like, buttermilk at the bar.
Buttermilk?
Buttermilk.
Xavier will point at it and just...
When you say a jug...
like a cat, like actually something large, like not like a jug, but like
cask. Okay,
like a small barrel, like how to put
like
it?
Yeah, I get you.
Kind of like a party keg size, like the little
party
like,
keg,
little,
yeah,
party keg, right? Yeah.
Something like that. I'll just charge you a gold.
Okay.
Would Grotus have traveled alone, or
you're all at the bar?
We're all at the bar, man. I just went up to the bar to buy that.
Xavier will just kind of point at it and just, what's that?
Oh, this is a trick that I learned back in my books, actually.
Books for what?
Cooking, and he's gonna take that. He's gonna take the manticore meat and put it in the buttermilk to leave it overnight, which is actually a way to get rid of gamey taste.
For sure, it'll definitely help. It's real gamey though.
True, but it should make it far more edible than
it'll make it a little bit more palatable.
And then he can use other ways to make it more palatable after that.
Ruin your milk now, though.
Oh.
That's pretty nifty. Two more things for finances. So this potion of heal drawing strength. We keeping this or selling it?
Again, would be a difficult item to sell until.
Probably have
Unless
to
you
wait,
want him to sell it to the Red Horns. The Red Horns are the only like potential buyers you could think of.
which may or may not work out well. Don't want to really hand them a potion of giant strength if we do end up fighting them.
It depends on whether or not we feel confident we can get Hellman back.
Fucking Roderick comes back. It's like, hey, Julie! Chug it down. Just.
Julius is just on the ground scraping, like, help! And it's just being dragged back.
Hey, hey, Grotus.
Yeah, Xavier, what is it?
Kind of like, he kind of does like the little thing where he kind of like spins his heel a little bit in the ground, but he's just, I was wondering, do you? He kind of like pauses a few times, but he eventually gets around to it. It's just, you think you might be able to teach me how to cook sometime?
If you want to, Xavier, sure, of course.
Yeah, I know how to do basic stuff.
Crotus will scratch the back of his. To be honest, I've never actually taught anybody how to do anything before, so it'll be a new experience, I suppose.
Who taught you?
Oh, the cooking!
How to cook?
Actually, I learned that from books. My pa was never the best of cooks.
Did you used to have to make something for him before he, burned?
Well, when I was a little one, let's just say charcoal was a common menu item for a dwarven.
Right. Well, yeah, no, sure. I mean, so far I don't know. I'd say you'd probably be good at teaching, but I mean, I suppose we'll see. Just a bit of a warning. You might need to be a little patient with me, especially if it's involving words.
Oh, no worries. I'll see what we can do. You seem capable.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Words can kind of escape me a little bit, moving around.
Well, the most important thing to have when you're cooking's a good palate anyways, and Grotus will walk over with learn the tricks of the trade, like how to get rid of the gaminess out of the meat and such.
Yeah, well, luckily, only my hands and feet really get burned, so my tongue's still actually nice and he kind of, like, thinks about it. It's just like, did I just use that? Is that right? He kind of, like, thinks about it and then, like, shrugs afterwards. Yeah, no, it's still nice and able.
Ah, better to go. In any case, it'll be all ready by the time. If you want to help me when ready to cook up this manticore meat, you're more than willing to lend me a hand.
You think I might want to start on a bit of an easier meat?
Grotus looks at it. Well, I mean, whether or not you learn anything's besides the point. Meat's meat when it comes to seasoning and everything. It's just whether it works out or not.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. Well, alright, just let me know whenever.
No worries.
But, yeah, that's literally all he just wanted that. Otherwise, he's just kind of, like, absent-mindedly chatting with literally anybody who will hear him.
Sure.
Quick question. I realize it's not a handkerchief, it's just cloth. How much cloth is it?
No, it is a handkerchief.
Oh, it is a handkerchief.
Yes. They are like an embroidered handkerchief.
So not much cloth, then.
No, like
No.
a bit more than the size of like both your hands put together.
Okay, can Julie spend the time just, like, carefully and thoroughly kind of cleaning it off?
Sure. You know well enough how to do that.
And also, while in this town, is it possible to find Weaver's tools? Because even though he's proficient, he doesn't have.
Sure, it would be.
And that is how much again?
We'll run it. Let me just pull the PHP price, just so I'm not screwing you.
While you're doing that, can I ask my last question about finances now?
Okay.
The gems.
Yes.
Could I try to upsell them, seeing as it is part of my proficiencies?
You not really here. Again, you're in a place that doesn't have a high wealth place, right? They'll sell and buy basic items. But if you took them to like Teleburg, or not Teleburg, Vildervale, or any of the larger cities, Edgewater, that kind of stuff, yes, you could attempt to.
Okay.
To people that don't know any better.
And the wheels of cheese.
Wheels of cheese you could sell here easily.
Alright. We have 6 wheels of cheese.
Six
Grotus
wheels
would
of
like
cheese each
one
of
of those at least.
So 5 wheel of cheese go at 5 gold. 5 gold for a full wheel, and these are like your chest-sized wheels. Like these are big.
All right.
Also, Julius, it is a gold piece for a weaver's tools.
Okay.
Which you're able to pick up easily enough.
Yes, while I'm actually at that place then that's selling, how much would it cost to get a average kind of amount of pink cloth and silver stuffer embroidery?
You're at a general store.
Yeah.
I'll say the silver embroidery is definitely not going to be here. For the pink cloth, roll me a percentile dice.
Oh, what's that? How do I roll it?
1d100. We'll say we'll give it to you on a 50 or up that you managed to find that they have some.
Whoops.
69? Sure. They're able to sell you. How much are you looking to purchase?
Enough for a. Here, I'll message you.
Okay.
So that's cheese. 25 gold pieces. We're getting percent wheels. That's that.
But yeah, like things like metals or foods, like those things you can sell here, like gems and like specialty stuff, doesn't really fly here.
And we were able to sell the trade bars easily enough, though.
Yeah, if you guys want to sell the trade bars, you can sell them all.
Yeah, that's just a straight exchange, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, there are smiths around here, especially with how much mining there is. You get a sense that it seems to be that most likely these were, like, bars that they already sold. Like, they were made here and then, like, shipped off for the silver. But, yeah, you managed to bring them back.
So I'm just adding up everything I'm just doing finances, guys, just so I know exactly what everyone's been.
Yeah.
What our takeaway is. All right. So as of currently, with selling the trade bars, the alcohol, one of the handkerchiefs, and the cheese, we are up to 165 gold worth of profits in things in liquid assets that we have sold. The gems are not going to be able to be sold here. We got 2 healing potions, and the potion of heal, dry, and strength we're not going to be able to sell here, but it is kind of a bigger seller from 150 gold to 200, so that's something we'll definitely be able to do in the future if no one wants it. But other than that, we're good. We also have a bunch of extra metal weapons, if anyone needs some scrap metal. Other than that, it's 165 gold, divided 6 ways. Give me a second.
I got it.
27 gold pieces to everyone and 5 silver.
So 27?
27, yeah, gold and 5 silver.
Oof, we don't I love it. After all this, we don't even have 100 gold each to our names.
That's the problem about splitting gold. One of you should have just kept it for yourself.
You're absolutely right.
Hold on, we still have to sell the Manicore head. So that'll be 200. So that's going to be another 33 and 3 copper and 3 silver for each of us once we sell the Manicore head.
By the way, I guess we should just get that out of the way, Chris, or do you want us to RP the Manicore head by?
It's fine. I do need to get going pretty quickly here. I also need to go to the bathroom. Something fierce. So you would be able to get the 200 gold for the Manicore head. It seems for the most part, with dealing with this kind of stuff, it's not Delphus you're dealing with. Actually, it's Mathis. Who, like, you present the head to him. He's kind of like, there's a very clear, like, suspicious kind of stare at how quickly you did it, but he doesn't go back on his brother's word and pays you 20 platinum pieces.
Cool.
He seems to remove them from his own, like, personal, just, like, pouch of gold.
Great.
You'd learn that Mathis seems to be the one in charge of kind of, like, while the Redhorns are on the payroll of, like, the Farstone estate, it's like Mathis that's the one that's technically high.
Yeah, he does the hiring. Yep.
Yeah, you get a sense it's like anything that's business oriented has gone to Delphus. anything that's kind of like something else that the family is taking on, it's going to Mathis.
As we hand ahead the Mathis, I'm just like, so do you think that Hellman fellow's going to show up at all? Assuming he's just being late.
He kind of looks to you, gives you a shrug. It's like, I've never met the man. I've never heard of him aside from this. I couldn't give you 2 cents on my answer. Be worth just about as much.
Insight.
Sure, roll an insight check.
Guys, eventually we'll hit it. Insight. 14.
14? There's a general, like... He seems to be... I don't know what the word is. Exhausted at the sound of the name. He's just like, I'm tired of hearing about it.
Fair enough. Alright, well, you have a good day now.
Aye, you as well. Safe out there. Good luck finding your boss.
Thanks, I hope he's still alive.
Sure, maybe.
As we leave, the grocer go, by the way, what is this mine you need us to go looking into?
You kind of point, and you can see just barely kind of cresting over. Well, actually, you can't now. It's dark now. He kind of points, and it's like, head northeast out of town. It's the only other road, aside from ours and the one out of town. It'll take you to the hills where all the mines are. From there, ask any of the managers or workers. They'll be able to point you towards the one that's having issues. We've had to bar off most of it.
Fair enough. We'll take care of that in the morning, then.
Wish you luck on it, then.
As we're leaving, Moonstone will look at Gross and say, "Oh, you got any plans tonight?
Not at the moment. Why?
Want to help you on a project?"
Kind of looks you. Sure. Why not?
Alright. And I'll hand you the sketchbook. I need you to make these parts as he starts going over the stuff for the folding shield.
I can see what I can do for that. Is there a smith around where I could actually forge parts? Because obviously anything like that
You
would
imagine,
require
like,
forging.
there are smiths around that do... They don't do, like, forging of these kind of things. You could ask them if you could use their forge. You imagine it would just be some charisma checks, like, baseline.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring.
Yep.
So, I guess
Of course,
with that,
you'll fail because they're dwarvish and they hate you immediately. I'm kidding.
I speak Dwarven.
Nah, Teleburg doesn't have a very high... Teleburg has, like, high dwarf population just because of the miners. Like, aside from that, a lot of it's human or halfling.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that, we will handle it all next week as you decide, do you try to find more gold for Hellman? Do you give up on him? Do you just fucking go to the mercs and be like, hey, fuck you?
You're
them up on
gonna
their deal.
die.
Do you take them up
meet
on
our
their...
goblin army.
Oh my god.
Do you take them up on their deal to help you find Hellman? Stuff like that.
Do we take him up on the deal to rip us off?
Who knows? That might just be them being coy and saying, "Yeah, no, we'll find Hellman for this amount."
Except I can smell the poison that stabbed him on the inside of that building.
It's up to you. You can always talk to them and ask.
Hey,
Hey, we have very good reason to believe our boss is in there. Can we just buy him back from you? I don't know who paid you for him, but I still want to break into the guy's house though and sweep through his records to make sure he's not actually like hiding anything, or his brother.
I
Both of them
mean,
live in the
I
same
just
house,
don't.
so-
I just don't think it's worth the risk, and I don't know what we gain out of it. Apart from, haha, I told you so.
Well, there's that, and then you also just be like, okay, this is something we can use for blackmail because there are figures of authority that could come in, right?
Yeah.
Like it's-
This town, while it doesn't have its own kind of nobility or anything like that, like, it's just a surrogate town of Vildervale. Like, they are under Vildervale law.
Fair enough.
So if we found records of his wrongdoing, in that case, we can be like, this is why Hammond didn't show up to defend his claim, is because he was kidnapped, and he was hired by this guy. We have the proof right here.
So, I mean, technically,
fair idea.
we have all the proof we need that the Red Horns are involved by the fact that he has them, but at the same point...
So,
Unless you can prove that they have them.
Yeah. We need a paper trail, is what we need.
We need somebody to quit being such a liar pants. Just fucking say it.
What do you